were shot down by his fighters. According to the Russian media, 13 Russian soldiers were killed.
Fox's Greg Palkot in Kyiv, Ukraine. A video released by the Kremlin today appears to show Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu inspecting troops in Ukraine, his first appearance since Prigozhin demanded his ouster. The Supreme Court today lifting its hold on a Louisiana case that could force the state to redraw congressional districts to boost black voting power. It follows the court's rejection earlier this month of a congressional redistricting map in Alabama and unfreezes a Louisiana case. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They've got the evidence. 79 degrees with a few clouds downtown. Radar is clear, but there are some slight rain chances later today. You've got a low of 66. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. 3 tornadoes have been confirmed from Sunday's storms. They touched down in Johnson, Monroe, and Martin counties. Donnie Burgess explains how the confirmations were made.
The National Weather Service team is busy checking out the damage in counties like Johnson and Martin, where tornadoes were reported.
They'll go out and survey and officially confirm those tornadoes. Even though we have footage, we need to go out and survey them before we can really confirm them.
Forecaster Greg Mello says actually confirming the tornadoes adds valuable data to researchers' records. That helps them plan ahead for the next round of severe weather, which means you will be more prepared. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
One person was killed in Martin County from Sunday's severe storms.
A lot of trees down. This house where the couple was at was just totally destroyed.
Monty Wolf with Martin County Emergency Management says an entire home was knocked down in a rural part of the county. You may have heard some candidates for president say they plan to pardon former President Trump if they're elected. Kurt Darling reports.
For former Indiana Governor and Vice President Mike Pence, he says it's premature for any presidential candidate to talk about pardoning Trump.
I don't understand why some of the other people running for president in the Republican primary assume that the president will be found guilty.
On Fox News Sunday, Pence acknowledged the 37-count indictment against Trump as serious, but he says taking a position on a pardon is a presumption of guilt. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.45 a gallon, about 8 cents below the national average, says GasBuddy.com. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
For the first time ever since opening its doors, the Indianapolis Men's Clinic is now the only men's health organization offering an intimacy guarantee. That's right. If you don't perform, you don't pay. You heard that right. Restoring intimacy is important to everyone. Helping men with a proven solution is what drives success. That's why the Indianapolis Men's Clinic stands by their intimacy guarantee. Now you will have the assurance and confidence of proven outcomes without the fear of financial loss. By using the latest technology for the treatment of ED, acoustic wave therapy uses pressure waves to open existing blood vessels, which restores spontaneity and intimacy for you and your loved one. Stop trusting companies that feed you empty promises with no results. Trust an intimacy guarantee. Trust the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic today. 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or IndianapolisMen'sClinic.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, looking at a crash on the northeast side. It is eastbound 465 at Allisonville Road. Right shoulder covered, and traffic stop and go back to Keystone Avenue. Also, a ramp closed on the northwest side, southbound 465 to 86th Street. It's a rolled semi-trailer, and we are completely blocked. Have to go down to 71st. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies with a chance of a shower or storm later this afternoon, a high of 78. Partly cloudy, quiet, and comfortable overnight, a low of 63. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters?
Hammer, I don't know about you. I couldn't take my eyes off the TV all weekend. Saturday, it was that what are some are calling the attempted coup in Russia. I watched 8 straight hours of news coverage on that. It was fascinating. Couldn't take my eyes off of it. And then yesterday, I sat down in front of the TV once storm coverage started. Storms throughout the city, wind, hail, severe storms, tornadoes. And again, I was watching, listening here to WIBC, to Donnie Burgess and Kurt Darling. And then our news gathering partners, Wish TV, were doing a great job covering it as well.
The tornadoes, they're going to get a lot of the headlines, but that hail, some of the photos of the hail that was falling
bigger
down.
than golf balls.
Right. Like, we're talking massive hail falling down. That caused a lot of damage down at the resort in French Lick, West Baden. Kind of damaged that big dome area.
No kidding.
But, yeah, man, it was touch and go, and it happened so fast.
What did you get? Did you get anything?
We just got a little bit of rain.
Yeah, so did we.
The sirens were going off. I could hear the sirens, but we just got some rain, and that was it.
We narrowly escaped it because there was that stuff up above us that was real bad. And then there was the stuff right below us in Zionsville. It kind of came through Brownsburg and central Indy. But we never really, we got a light sprinkle.
Oh, we got a little bit more than a sprinkle.
You did, yeah.
Not us. It certainly wasn't like what was happening in other parts of the state.
Man, other parts
were
crazy.
Widespread damage reported. Greenwood, New Whiteland, Bargersville. Folks there could be without power for 2 days. And the National Weather Service tells our news gathering partners at Wish TV 3 confirmed touchdowns statewide yesterday. Now, Richard Essex of Wish TV, he's on location at the location in Johnson County, taking a look at some of the damage.
We are behind the old Marsh store right off 135 on Stone Crossing Road. You can see there's just a sea of blue tarps covering all of the houses in this area. There is a lot of debris here on the ground, a lot of metal that has been thrown around. Construction crews at almost everywhere you look. You could just over to our left, there is a crew of people that are taking down and cleaning up some trees. But look at all of the blue tarps that are covering the roofs. The storm that came through here didn't take any houses down to the ground like we saw a couple of weeks ago in New Whiteland, but it certainly has done a lot of damage to the roofs here. Everywhere you look down here, there are broken fences, down trees. It looks like parts of roofs and parts of the roof structure that's been spread all over the area.
It was Richard Essex, Wish TV, and yeah, he even mentioned New Whiteland, which went through horrific circumstances weeks ago when tornadoes and heavy thunderstorms rolled through.
Luckily, this round wasn't as intense as that tornado outbreak on March 31st. So for that's a blessing. But teams from the National Weather Service are going to go out today and take a look at several Indiana counties. Again, the atrium of that West Baden Springs Hotel in Orange County, off limits right now. Now, the hotel remains open, but that big, iconic atrium is closed indefinitely. Governor Holcomb says the Indiana Department of Homeland Security will have staff on the ground in the coming days. Some of the areas that they're going to visit, some of the counties, Davies, Johnson, Martin, Monroe. Those are just some of the towns that were hit the hardest. Did you hear the sirens where you live?
No sirens that I know of in Zionsville. I didn't hear anything. I know I did have to sprint out and go get my daughter and her friend that were at the playground down the street when I saw the warnings pop up on TV, because I still didn't know what we were going to get. So I hopped on the bike and rushed to get them, but that's about it. And
I think a lot of people need to understand that these sirens, there's really not one specific code. It's county by county as to how they decide to fire these bad boys off. Because it was a little confusing, because if you live in southern Marion County, you know that there were, at least if you were watching the news, listening to IBC, tornado on the ground in Johnson County. So you hear a siren go off and you think, oh no, there's a tornado on the ground in Marion County.
Right.
But that's not necessarily the case. They also fired these sirens off for severe thunderstorm warnings. So even though there was a tornado on the ground in northern Johnson County, if you live in parts of Marion County, north or south, you were hearing these sirens, does not mean that a tornado is on the way or has even been spotted. It could be a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, not every county is like that. That's what kind of makes this whole thing a little bit confusing. You said you were watching a lot of the news coverage all weekend.
Yeah.
Did you wake up to see the aftermath of what happened in Broad Ripple on Sunday morning?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I saw that it's all going to be taken care of now. No need to worry because the Broad Ripple Village Association is going to make it a gun-free zone on the weekend. So there's that. Problem solved.
Problem solved. I'm going to raise my hand for a question. Why can't they make it a crime-free zone?
Right.
Just for Friday and Saturday. If you want to do your shooting and your criminal activity, you've got carte blanche to do it the rest of the week.
It is a crime-free zone in Broad Ripple. No, it's awful. It's disturbing. And these headlines keep popping up for years and years and years now. And we're just now doing something. I put that in quotation marks, doing something about it with the gun-free zones. It's tragic. People lost their lives over the weekend.
3 people fatally shot in Broad Ripple over the weekend. Another person trying to recover from their wounds. Here is Indy Mayor Boss Hogsett on gun-free zones in Indy.
As I announced just a few weeks ago, the city has actively encouraged civic, neighborhood, and private organizations who do host high-traffic events to consider requesting special event permits that, once granted, would allow them to declare these activities to be gun-free. This morning, I'm heartened after speaking with the Broad Ripple Village Association leadership that I've received their commitment that they will be requesting such a permit to be issued beginning next weekend. If this permit is approved, I have pledged my full support that IMPD and other city agencies will provide the resources and support to enforce this reasonable request.
Hear ye, hear ye. Gang members, drug dealers, and general bad guys. You are no longer allowed to bring your guns in Broad Ripple Fridays and Saturday and Sunday nights. Oh, that'll do the trick.
Right.
Right? I mean, like a lot of these clubs, look, there are some problem clubs. I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about here. I got a buddy of mine that works in Broad Ripple. He's a businessman, has a business in Broad Ripple. I was texting back and forth with him today. He goes, the guy that works for me refuses to come to Broad Ripple without his pistol. The Broad Ripple Village Association is made up of flaming liberals, and the business owners are putting a ton of pressure on them. Such lack of creativity and critical thinking. And there are problem bars in this area as well.
There are, but listen to this next soundbite, though. Joe Hogsett makes it sound like it's, I think, more of a problem than it really is.
I met this morning for several hours with police leadership, and we've begun the process of identifying problem properties throughout the Broad Ripple area that have consistently been shown to foster the kind of violence we saw last night. In the coming days, the city prosecutor's office and IMPD will be meeting with these problem property owners. As I announced just a few weeks ago, the message will be simple. If you do not take basic common sense steps to ensure that your properties are not magnets for criminal activity, we will use the full force of law to hold you accountable. This is not how we're going to live.
So, like you, Nige, I've got some friends that own a property right there, popular property in Broad Ripple, and I asked them, what did you think about the mayor's press conference? This was the response that I got. Quote, it's mostly the young punks who can't get into the bars who are causing all the trouble. The incident this weekend was really crazy, and it was difficult for the police to manage. The entire street is under construction, so it's all gated, so everybody's trapped at a small spot. Most bars are doing their part and checking for weapons by wanding and not letting people in, but there are a few who are not as strict.
And that's the problem. That's one of the problems right there. And not letting, if you're not wanding your clients before they come into your bar, that's a huge problem.
And we'll get Guy Relford's opinion on all of this when he comes in and joins us here in just a few minutes. Right now, Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
All right, hammer crash on the north side, eastbound 465 at Allisonville Road. Right shoulder covered. Traffic stop and go. Back to Keystone Avenue. On the east side, southbound 465 slows at 74. Inbound 69 slow roll from 96. And northbound 37 stopped at Epler because of construction. Traffic sponsored by LASIK Vision Institute. The LASIK Vision Institute is making LASIK even more affordable. Get $1,000 off LASIK when treated in July. That's $500 off per eye plus guaranteed financing. Visit LASIK.com for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And you know, Nigel, one of the things that we get all the time from people on social media is, well, you guys complain all the time. What solutions do you have? We will get into some solutions coming up here later in the show. And honestly, if you're willing to make big boy tough decisions, it's not that difficult. It's really not, to kind of get this city back on track. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. We got an absolutely loaded show for you.
Yeah,
again,
we do.
Guy Relford's coming up here in a little bit. Marcus Bailey of Wish TV 8. There was a tornado that was close to his house. He posted an amazing picture.
Oh, wow.
So he'll join us coming up. And Murr from Impractical Jokers. Murr will join us
That's
a little
the
bit
best
later
show
on.
TV. It's one of the best.
Right now, we are looking at cloudy skies at 78 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The new lineup for Fox is out. We'll break it down next.
Rob, here's a number I'd like you to consider.
Yes.
35%.
Oh.
How would you like to get a 35% bonus when you invest your money?
Yes, please.
So if you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. And if you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. But don't wait, because this 35% bonus, it ends on Friday, June 30th.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. You can sleep well at night knowing your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. Learn how you could get this 35% bonus by calling Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
Remember, this 35% bonus offer ends on Friday, June 30th. So don't wait. Call today. Get your 35% bonus by calling 317-932-9912. That number, 317-932-9912.
GeoFocus Academy is the premier online private school for Indiana students, helping students build a successful future regardless of race, income, or geographic boundaries. 96% of Indiana residents qualify to attend tuition-free using the Indiana Choice Scholarship. With certified teachers and hands-on learning from home, you can create a bright future for your child. Now enrolling grades K through 12 for the 2023-2024 school year. Learn more at k12.com/GFA. GeoFocus Academy, where education clicks.
Wealth-changing question. Is your advisor giving you incomplete advice? Besides investing, there's also taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other elements that can be stressful to organize. At Creative Planning, we provide all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house, ensuring every aspect of your wealth works harder together so you can enjoy your wealth instead of worrying about it. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Okay, here's our to-do list for the road trip.
Wait a minute, Tire Discounters isn't on here.
That's because I know you'll go there anyway.
I was just on their website.
There's a shock.
They've got a road trip ready sale going on right now. They thought of everything. Oil change, brake and alignment checks, wipers, rotation and balancing.
Okay, go.
Will do.
You love Tire Discounters. You want to marry Tire Discounters.
Honey, we're just friends.
Get your family road trip ready and save.
So this week is dance camp for Emmy. Blake's new baseball team practices on Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh, I'm tired just thinking about all of that. And summer just started.
Oh, and we still need to get the AC looked at. It's still too hot in the kids' rooms, and I do not want summer sleepovers to be sweat fests.
Now that is an easy one.
At Mr. Quick, we keep your AC system running smoothly all summer. Call Mr. Quick today and get $54 off any AC repair. And now you can easily schedule online at callmrquick.com.
Call Mr. Quick for on time.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep. And a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better, night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number.
The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is now only $899, plus special financing. Ends Monday. See store for details.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Guess who's back again. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Okay, so Fox News has announced its new primetime lineup. Jesse Waters moving into the 8 o'clock spot.
I was told it was going to be Keith Olbermann. Is that not happening?
He was on the list. He was on the list, but no, Jesse Waters moving into Tucker Carlson's spot at 8 o'clock. So who's there at 7, Hammer?
So
that because Jesse Waters his show was on at 7 o'clock prime time at 7, so that left. So now we're playing musical chairs here. It looks like,
and this is the way it kind of has always been at Fox. The 7 o'clock host was always the next man up, basically. Tucker used to be the 7 o'clock guy. Then when Bill O'Reilly left, Tucker took over. So Laura Ingraham will go to 7 o'clock.
Whoa, big promotion.
She's going to 7 o'clock, followed by Jesse Waters at 8. Hannity stays at 9, and then Gutfeld jumps up an hour to 10, and then at 11, just kind of your straight-laced news program, Trace Gallagher with Fox News Tonight.
So what do you think? You think Hannity's pissed he didn't get that primetime slot, or everybody is fine with Hannity right where he is because that's where he's been for years and years and years and years, and they maybe just didn't want to disrupt that lineup too much?
Right. Just in case Jesse doesn't work at 8, maybe they didn't want to screw up the consistent, steady thing they've got at 9. Because Hannity's been there for a long time, man. He's been there. Yeah. I think it's a record for how long he's had a program on cable news.
I mean, does this change the audience for Gutfeld? I mean, and being on at 10 o'clock, I guess there's more people awake, maybe more people watch his show. Is that how that works?
And what if there's breaking news? Is Gutfeld going to be able to handle that? Because that's the one thing that I think is a knock on his program. One, it's pre-recorded, right? They do it at like 5 or 6 o'clock and it airs later that night, like a lot of the late night shows do. You know, Stephen Colbert's not live. Jimmy Kimmel's not live. But at 10 o'clock, maybe you're covering big votes at the Senate, or maybe there's some sort of drama going on. Is he going to be forced to be there and do that kind of stuff? Those are the questions that I don't know the answer to yet, but...
Have you gotten into Gutfeld? Like, are you a Gutfeld guy? I love him on the 5, but
that's me. I like him on the 5 better than I like his late night program. Because to me, anytime you have too many guests, I tune in to watch the host do their thing. And it's like this with radio too. I watch and I listen for the hosts of that program to do what they do best. And sometimes when they have so many guests, it waters things down.
Gutfeld is different than, say, like a Jesse Waters primetime or a Tucker Carlson. Gutfeld is more of a panel show. It's a late night talk show, basically.
Right.
And it was doing very well in the ratings at 11 o'clock. And I'm wondering if they're nervous now that since it's going back an hour. I mean, I don't know how any of that works or what the thinking or logic is with those studio executives, but I mean, maybe you have the potential to reach more people when you're on a 10 than you do 11.
He's the king of late night. His numbers were beating all those major names that we talked about.
And for what I understand, Hammer, I think there's still, they may have come to an agreement. I don't know. There's still a writer's strike going on. So his was the only show that was still live and not in repeats.
Over the weekend, the Sunday morning talk shows were trying to figure out the best way to handle some topics that aren't really in their wheelhouse. Trouble with the Democrats. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, a lot of drama going on right now. So Chuck Todd the soon-to-be former host of Meet the Press. He's still got a gig right now. He's kind of lame ducking it until the end. He had on Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. Now, I know this was appointment television for you, Nigel, when America's evil grandmother appears with Chuck Todd on Meet the Press. But Amy was asked if she's got concerns about the mental and physical well-being of Joe Biden to run for president again.
We got a new poll out. We asked various questions having to do with President Biden and his ability to do the job. Does he have the mental and physical health to serve? The concern among Democrats has doubled since October 2020. It was only 1 in 5 Democrats that had that concern before Election Day 2020. It's now over 40%. It's 43%. You were just with the president at the state dinner. Do you have any concerns?
No, I don't. He did so well at that state dinner.
So, in case you didn't catch that, her reasoning for Joe Biden to get another 4 years, despite him falling down, saying ridiculous things, looking disheveled all the time, was he did pretty good at the state dinner.
That's the bar.
That's the bar where we're at right now. Well, he didn't crap his pants. He didn't, say something inappropriate or racist.
Fall flat on his face in front of hundreds of people. He's great.
When you've got nothing going for you, the Democrats make sure to give you props for doing average, everyday tasks like being coherent at a dinner.
Yeah. He did so well at that state dinner.
But keep in mind, though, this is also Joe Biden you're talking about. This is the same dude who expected a round of applause for getting off of Air Force One, walking over to the press corps and yelling that his butt's been wiped.
My butt's been wiped.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Celebrate big and save even more this 4th of July with Family Dollar. Find all you need from snacks and drinks to party supplies and everything to set the mood. Like festive decor, buy one, get one 50% off. Then fire up the grill to feed your guests. Find Wonder Brand buns and Ballpark Franks both for just $3.25. And to wash it down, get 12 packs of Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper at 3 for just $12. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep, and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better, night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number.
The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is now only $8.99, plus special financing. Ends Monday. See store for details.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What you saw has been confirmed. 80 degrees and cloudy downtown. All clear with the radar, but there's a chance you could see some rain later this evening. Low temps drop to the mid-60s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:29. 3 tornadoes touched down in 3 different counties around central and south central Indiana Sunday. The National Weather Service confirmed 1 in each of Johnson, Martin, and Monroe counties. 1 person died from the storm in Martin County. 3 people were shot. 1 was killed in a Fort Wayne shooting Sunday morning. Sasha Nixon reports.
Fort Wayne police went to Green Tree Court a little before 5 a.m., where they found a man and a woman who had been shot. One officer stopped a car that had been spotted near the scene. Another injured man was inside that car. The 3 victims were taken to the hospital, where the woman was pronounced dead. The men had life-threatening injuries. At this time, police have not identified any of the victims. It is not yet clear what led to the shooting. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Two former allies turned rivals. They spoke Monday after one of them led a revolt in Russia.
Both of them really trying to stress how they saw Russia playing out. Putin was on air and he was talking as if he was leading the country as normal. He'd spoken today to the leaders of Qatar and to Iran, and he was just giving a normal talk to a youth group in Russia at the moment. Today, we also heard from Prigozhin, the other side of this story. He released a voice note saying that his march showed serious weaknesses in the Russian security system, and that he had done this because Wagner, his mercenary group, was ordered to become part of the formal Russian army, to which he objected to.
Fox's Benjamin Hall. President Biden and Kamala Harris announced a $40 billion investment for projects in all 50 states focused on expanding access to high-speed internet.
Today, 24 million people in our country do not have access to high-speed internet, either because they cannot afford the monthly cost of a plan, or because they live in communities that have not yet been fully connected to fiber optic networks.
The White House estimates about 8.5 million homes and businesses in the U.S. don't have access to high-speed internet. Running a 100-mile race is also known as an ultramarathon, and Courtney DeWalter is now the owner of the women's record for the fastest time. She finished a race in California this weekend in about 15 and a half hours, beating the previous record by over an hour. DeWalter's time results in about 1 mile ran every 9 minutes. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:32.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating, family-owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch-resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas, too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
With traffic at 3:33, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Harrison, looking at eastbound 465 northeast side, crash Allisonville Road. It's covering the right shoulder right now. Traffic is stopped past Keystone Avenue to Westfield Boulevard. Inbound 69 slows a bit at 96. Northbound 37, a problem again from Epler to 465. Grinding because of construction. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all their products, plus manufacturers' rebates. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, a few isolated showers early on, low temperature of 63 degrees. Tomorrow, a gloomy day, mostly cloudy, high temperature of 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the Gun Guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here, also joining us live in studio. Guy Relford, the Gun Guy, licensed firearms instructor and 2A scholar, as one journalist put it. Guy Relford, how are you?
Man, I'm great, and thanks as always to our sponsor for Monday Gun Day. That's Premier Arms in Brownsburg, with the largest selection of new, used, and historic firearms in the Midwest, and PA Jewelers located right in the store. Check them out at 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg or premierarms.com.
Lots of indie weekend violence, Broad Ripple, 3 dead, shootings at 2 o'clock in the morning, and a well-known intersection there in Broad Ripple. Yep. And Boss Hogsets' answer and the Broad Ripple Village Association's answer is to make Broad Ripple a gun-free zone on the weekends. Just overall general thoughts on even what that means and what that looks like.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, there are a couple things you got to start from. The opening premise is that a business can have whatever policy it wants on firearms or dress code or masks or whatever it wants, right? So if I want to have a policy for my business as a bar owner in Broad Ripple, it says no guns allowed, they can absolutely have that policy if they want to. That's their business.
And most of those bars in Broad Ripple, they wand you when you go in, like you're going to a Pacers or a Colts game.
And just as a side note, you don't ever really see anyone getting shot in the bars.
Right.
It's always out in the street.
Well, your guys' segment at the top of your show where you were talking about, it's punks who can't get into bars that are hanging around outside making trouble, that are getting involved in these violent incidents. But beyond the fact that a business can have whatever policy it wants, then you start talking about, now we're talking about city streets and sidewalks and public property. Well, as we've talked about before, the Indiana Firearms Preemption Act says local governments like the city of Indianapolis cannot regulate firearms, including the possession of firearms. So the city can't make city streets in general a no gun zone, a gun-free zone. So how do they make Broad Ripple a gun-free zone? Well, what they can potentially do, because an exception to the Firearms Preemption Act is that the organizer or promoter of an event, and that's a key word, event, that on property leased from the city, that's another key provision, can declare that area a no gun zone, a gun-free zone, and the city can help them enforce that. So that's why you go through security, and there may be IMPD officers when you're getting into a Colts game, right? So they can, because that's why they created that exception. Or a Pacer game. The city, through the Capital Improvement Board, owns Gainbridge. They own Lucas Oil Stadium. They lease those properties to private, quote-unquote, organizers or promoters of an event, that is, the Colts and the Pacers, so they can make it a gun-free zone if they want, and the city can help them enforce that. So what they're talking about here, and you heard in Joe Hogsett's announcement that you guys played in your show that I heard on the way down here, is he said those businesses or the Broad Ripple Village Association that are hosting, high traffic events can apply for a permit, and if granted, they can make that a gun-free zone, and the city will help them enforce that. That's what they're talking about. So what are they going to do? They're going to say it's weekend in Broad Ripple is an event.
So Fridays, Saturdays, weekends in Broad Ripple, the Broad Ripple Village, the folks that get to make the decisions, they're going to say that's an event because it's a high-trafficked area.
Right. And you know what? I mean, we could litigate this. I mean, I did an interview a couple hours ago with Fox 59, and they said, if this gets litigated in court, because, my organization, 2A Project, may very likely be the ones to litigate it. They go, what's going to turn on? I go, well, what's an event? I mean, if we just declare weekends in Broad Ripple an event, is that like a Colts game? Or a Pacer game? I mean, is that the intent of the legislature?
Could one bar owner, let's say that Nigel owns one of the bars on the Broad Ripple strip there.
I'd be one of the problem owners.
Could he come out and say, hey, this weekend we're celebrating Pride, so it's an event this weekend, and then just every single weekend come up with some reason as to why it's a reason to make it a gun-free zone.
Yeah, that's right. And so, you look at that and say, okay, was that the intent of the legislature? I mean, for instance, we've seen events down on the circle, right down below where we are right now, right? For Super Bowl weekend or Final Four weekend, where they block off the circle and they've got security.
They're doing that coming up again soon.
Right. And so they block it off. They've got security and metal detectors at either end. And to get onto the circle, you got to go through a metal detector. Well, that's because they've declared that an event, and they have a promoter who's organizing that event. And the preemption statute says they can make that a gun-free zone.
So at the end of the day, though, it's clear this is an election year for Joe Hogsett.
Sure.
He knows his opponent's got a lot of money. And we'll talk about that opponent coming up here in a little bit.
Right.
But he knows his opponent's got a lot of money, so he's going to look like Mr. Tough Guy. This is his workaround of trying to, quote, end, his words, gun violence in Indy by having private businesses declare gun-free zones on Monument Circle and Broad Ripple.
Well, that's exactly right, Jason. And what was not surprising because it's Joe Hogsett, but it's always just disappointing, even though it's completely predictable. As he came out and he said, well, the real problem here is this dramatic upsurge in people carrying guns because more people have licenses and of course, constitutional carry. I predicted it when it passed. The very first interview I did here with you guys. Oh, man, constitutional carry. After 10 years, we finally got it passed. By the way, if somebody spits on the sidewalk, it's going to get blamed on constitutional carry.
Right.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly what we're seeing. But here, 4 people were shot. Do we know who shot the people, in Broad Ripple? I mean, do we know who caused that?
Not yet.
And so do we have any idea whether, for instance, they were legal to carry a firearm under constitutional carry or whether they were eligible for a handgun license? We don't know anything about that. And this guy, for pure political reasons, and because he's that Democrat hack that he's always been, comes out and wants to blame, people with licenses, which is with their law-abiding citizens.
Yeah, right. Here's the quote. Hogsett said in 2012 the city had about 50,000 active gun permits. Since then, the numbers have exploded. This year, we're on pace to end the year with nearly 160,000 active gun permits, and that's after the state legislature took action to allow permitless guns to be carried in our city. Yeah. I love how all of a sudden they're clutching their pearls.
Yeah, EGAD's law-abiding citizens.
Yeah. Nobody ever stops to ask why there's been an explosion in gun permits.
Bingo.
Well, good point. Because a lot of people like me have made the decision to be responsible for their personal safety.
And you've got very little faith that the gruesome twosome of Joe Hogsett and Ryan Mears are going to have bad guys locked away. Of course, people are going to go out. Like family members of mine have such little faith at the city leaders in Indy right now. They went out and got weapons to defend themselves because the bad guys keep getting let right back out in the street.
I mean, you think I come downtown without carrying a gun? I mean, of course not. I never do. And I'm a big ugly dude, right? I mean, I'm like think about.
But you were also accosted on Monument Circle.
I'm saying, and I was really, really glad I had a gun. But it's amazing to me. I mean, let me just throw out a fact here and ask it. Let's ask ourselves if this is consistent with the line that Mayor Hogsett's taking here. The Crime Prevention Research Center, a great scholar there, Dr. John Lott, did a study. And he looked at the incidence of crimes committed by people who have a handgun license. And he compared that to crimes committed by police officers. And do you know that the crimes committed by people with a license to carry handguns, this is across the country, and looked at several different states, is a fraction of the crimes committed by police officers. That is, people with carry licenses are incredibly law-abiding and commit incredibly few crimes. And the point there is pointing at us as being the cause of some increase in violence in Broad Ripple or anywhere else in Indianapolis is the most ludicrous thing I could point to. He's letting violent criminals repeatedly out of jail, as we've talked about here repeatedly, as we talk about with Rick Snyder over and over again. He's letting violent repeat offenders back on the street, and he wants to blame law-abiding citizens for violence in Broad Ripple. That's the most incredibly inane and stupid thing I've ever heard.
Snyder sent me a screenshot earlier. It was a tweet from 4 years ago where the FOP of Indy was posting about the violence in Broad Ripple and how it's growing. Now, this was long before that evil, scary constitutional carry guy, but anybody that's lived here can see this city has deteriorated under its current leadership, and now Joe Hogsett, who's been at the helm, is trying to find a scapegoat, and it's you, the law-abiding gun owner.
Yes, right. Even though no facts, no statistics, no logic bears that out.
So take a little break here. When we come back, I want you to respond to this statement that Jefferson Shreve put out. He's running against Joe Hogsett in the Indy mayor's race. I got a little bit of a problem with this. I want to see if you agree with that. That's coming up next. It's Monday Gun Day. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
For the first time ever since opening its doors, the Indianapolis Men's Clinic is now the only men's health organization offering an intimacy guarantee. That's right. If you don't perform, you don't pay. You heard that right. Restoring intimacy is important to everyone. Helping men with a proven solution is what drives success. That's why the Indianapolis Men's Clinic stands by their intimacy guarantee. Now you will have the assurance and confidence of proven outcomes without the fear of financial loss. By using the latest technology for the treatment of ED, acoustic wave therapy uses pressure waves to open existing blood vessels, which restores spontaneity and intimacy for you and your loved one. Stop trusting companies that feed you empty promises with no results. Trust an intimacy guarantee. Trust the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic today. 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or IndianapolisMen'sClinic.com.
We all know that feeling. Unexpectedly, the car breaks down, costing you hundreds or thousands of dollars from your emergency fund. Protect yourself and your car with Ox Car Care. Avoid the headaches and save thousands of dollars on repairs. You don't pay, Ox pays. Get zero repair bills and zero headaches. Ox takes care of their claims from start to finish. Unlike the other warranty companies, Ox Car Care members get free oil changes, free tire rotations, and free roadside assistance. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee and are A+ rated with the BBB. Drive with peace of mind, like our friend Bill Auberlin, professional race car driver.
Hi, I'm Bill Auberlin. My cars mean everything to my success. The same goes for my personal cars, too. That's why I trust Ox Car Care to make sure I'm covered when expenses and repairs come up. Ox Car Care has my back, and they'll have yours, too.
Drive with peace of mind. Call Ox Car Care for a free quote. 800-240-1465. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-240-1465. 800-240-1465. Or oxcarcare.com.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Did you know you can experience the ultimate rejuvenation with our unique hot tubs made right here in Indianapolis? Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs compatible with Epsom salts. Imagine the tensions melting away as you step into the luxury of a Royal Spa hot tub. And now is a great time to invest in your rejuvenation. We built our inventory back up and now have new models, scratch and dents, and even demos ready for delivery. Experience the difference for yourself. Visit us online at royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa. If you're a Medicaid member, you should know guaranteed coverage is coming to an end. Keep an eye on your mailbox for important information from Medicaid. When you receive it, go online and enter your updated information to maintain your coverage or to find other coverage if you're no longer eligible for Medicaid. Keep your health and keep your coverage. Learn more at fssabenefits.in.gov.
That's Faber's Bean Window. Trust me.
In the last 40 years, over 80,000, that's right, 80,000 Indiana families have trusted their home to B Window. Help us celebrate our 40th year anniversary and receive 40% off all products, plus special manufacturer rebates and up to 20 months, no interest, no payments. Just go to bwindow.com, we'll take care of the rest.
That's Faber's Bean Window. Trust me.
Let us send you your home's value today. Go to HoosierHomeValues2023.com. From Crossroads Collective, title sponsor of the First Day, Sundays 11 to 1.
Receive 40% off all products, plus special manufacturer rebates and up to 20 months, no interest, no payments. Just go to bwindow.com, we'll take care of the rest.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
We'll have more with Guy Relford here in just a moment. Right now, Matt Bear's got the roads.
Eastbound 465 Allisonville, right shoulder crash, and traffic is backed up past Keystone Avenue. Inbound 65 stop and go from 29th to Meridian Penn, and northbound 37 stop and go Epler to 465. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all their products. Plus manufacturer's rebates. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center here at 93 WIBC. It's Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford with us. So, Guy, Jefferson Shreve, he's running against Joe Hogsett for the Indy mayor this year. He put out a press release in regards to the violence that took place over the weekend. Now, this was after Joe Hogsett's press conference. I'm going to read you a little bit here, okay? Quote, this is from Jefferson Shreve. I am in favor of any practical and effective measure to get guns out of Broad Ripple at night. Employing technology to prevent guns from entering public spaces where crowds mix with alcohol is a worthwhile endeavor. It's hard to disagree with the sentiment the mayor sets forth, but the substance and execution are sorely lacking. And then he goes into some more and more stuff here. If I'm Jefferson Shreve, Guy, the last thing that I want to put in any press release is anything where I agree with Joe Hogsett.
Well, that's right. And in a way where he's saying, I have no problem with violating the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens, and if it means that that we can declare Broad Ripple a gun-free zone. I mean, it's a major tactical mistake in my mind. I understand he knows he's running in Marion County, right? And he's trying to attract as many voters as he can in Marion County, where there's an awful lot of liberal voters. But you got to keep your base.
Right.
You got to keep your base. And you got to keep the Republicans that are excited about potentially having a Republican mayor. And to me, the last thing you want to do is come out and say something really dumb about supporting an infringement of Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. So, you should have said, why don't we focus on the bad guys? Why don't we focus on, keeping bad guys from carrying guns and keeping bad guys in jail, which would actually solve the problem.
And it's a long press release. It is. And there's different things in there. Right. But that little part rubbed me the wrong way because, first of all, whoever wrote this, because I don't believe that Jefferson wrote this, it had to be a staffer that wrote this, should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, he signed off on it.
But he signed off on it. Absolutely right.
Well, sure. And bottom line to me is that if you have any inclination to vote for Jefferson Shreve in this election, you're probably upset about all the BS that Joe Hawks is pulling here lately on Second Amendment issues, right? I mean, this ridiculous ordinance that is up in front of the city county council about repealing concealed carry in Marion County and making the circle a gun-free zone.
He's also going to get rid of Godzilla because he can do that too.
Right. I mean, so you're looking at what Hawks is trying to do. If you have any semblance of conservatism in your body and where you're inclined to vote for Jefferson Shreve and you're upset about all this Second Amendment BS that you're seeing from Hogsett, and now to have him come out and basically support the bottom line contention of what he's talking about in Broad Ripple, that's incredibly
Knives,
disappointing.
did you view this the same way that I did, where it looks like Shreve was like, I kind of agree with Joe here?
Yeah, I thought it was a mistake, although tell me exactly, Guy. I mean, because somebody just happened to be reading this and maybe he's on the fence or maybe he's not as hardcore 2A as some other people will look at the words and say, you look at these words and say, I'm for employing technology to prevent guns from entering public spaces where there's crowds and alcohol. It's a worthwhile endeavor. Somebody might just, a low info voter or somebody's on the fence or somebody who doesn't carry a gun might see it and say, oh, that makes sense.
Well, that's right. It's because there's a basic Second Amendment right to carry a gun in public. And because we have a law at the state level that says that local jurisdictions, local governments like the city of Indianapolis can't prohibit the possession of firearms in public spaces.
And so what would they do in Broad Ripple? They shut the entire street down, Broad Ripple Avenue, and then have just single points of entry where you can get to the bars and you get wanded? I think every bar in Broad Ripple wands you before you
Yeah, I mean, to do what they're talking about here, yes, they'd have to figure out what exact space they want to deal with. They'd have to completely block it off and then set up metal detectors for you to be able to get in or get out of that particular space. And I'm imagining something on Broad Ripple Avenue from College over to however many blocks over, maybe Westfield. And saying that's it. They have to block off all those side streets. I mean, what's that going to do to traffic? Are people still going to want to go down there and deal with all that? There are a bunch of logistical issues that I don't think they've figured out yet.
This was just such a bad statement from Jefferson Shreve. And here's what I love about WIBC and what we do. We call balls and strikes here, right? When there's a Democrat that does something moronic, we will call them out.
Right.
When a Republican does something dumb, we will call them out on that too. Guy, you get the messages on Twitter the same way that we do.
Oh, yeah.
You guys at WIBC just carry the water for the right.
right.
Nobody is tougher on both sides than we are here at 93 WIBC. And my fear is that whoever's in charge of putting staffers on major campaigns here in Marion County, they're going to screw this one up the same way they screwed up Cindy Carrasco.
Well, and to your point,
because Carrasco was really good. I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
No.
She was really good. She was qualified to be the prosecutor, but the people that worked on her campaign weren't qualified to run a donut shop. And I'm feeling the same way right now about Jefferson Shreve's people.
Well, it's starting to look that way because let me tell you a question I've gotten over and over again. I've had this question on my show. I've had this question all over social media is, Guy, where is Jefferson Shreve on the Second Amendment? Because people want to know, and they want my evaluation on that. I go, you know what? He hasn't said much on the Second Amendment. I don't know that we have a specific idea. I know he has to be better than Joe Hogsett. Well, this statement doesn't give me a lot of support for that belief.
If somebody wants to continue this conversation or reach out to you, how do they find you?
At Guy Relford on Twitter's best way right now. I'm trying to build that following, so check that out. Give me a follow at Guy Relford on Twitter.
Guy, you're the best. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. We're coming right back with top stories.
Do you have a crawl space? Do you know what's in your crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real local Indiana family-owned crawl space and basement repair contractor. Protect your family and your home from your unhealthy crawl space by calling Indy's most trusted, award-winning experts for a free crawl space consultation at 317-407-1868 or SwainCoLLC.com. And don't forget to ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer with expert installation and 24-hour monitoring. Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Wealth-changing question. Is your investment portfolio really customized? Some advisors say they customize them, but all they really do is ask you a few questions, then put all your money in a model portfolio. Here at Creative Planning, each of our private wealth management clients' portfolios is unique. Your investment mix will be based on your custom financial plan. If that's not how your money's managed, you're not getting the customization you deserve. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Addiction affects almost everyone. In fact, nearly 90% of people that struggle with substance abuse don't get help. Many people don't know where to start or think that treatment is ineffective or too expensive. At Landmark Recovery, we're here to tell you that's not true. We teach a curriculum that is both effective and affordable. You can learn how to live a happier and healthier life, a life that is free from addiction. Don't wait another day to get help. Call 866-LANDMARK or visit landmarkrecovery.com to learn more.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus next-day energy with melatonin plus extended-release B vitamins.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus next-day energy with melatonin plus extended-release B vitamins.
Discover how to save more of your hard-earned money. Listen to WIBC this Saturday from 5 to 6 a.m. for secure retirement tips from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. This Saturday, 5 to 6 a.m. on WIBC.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Coming up in 2 minutes, how many tornadoes have been confirmed by the National Weather Service from yesterday's storms? Schools in Indiana are having a hard time keeping their staff in the building, and why Mike Pence won't commit to pardoning Trump. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The man behind the Russian revolt speaks out. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. The head of the Wagner Group mercenary army today discussing his short-lived rebellion.
Yevgeny Prigozhin insists this wasn't a coup and he didn't want to overthrow the government, just hold Russia's military leaders accountable for their mistakes. The mercenary leader agreed to go to Belarus after abandoning what he called the March of Justice. Prigozhin says his only motivation was to protect his Wagner Group, which is paid to fight in Ukraine alongside the official Russian military, adding he regrets shooting down Russian military aircraft after his convoy was targeted by airstrikes.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says Russian President Vladimir Putin was likely shaken by the Wagner rebellion.
It is hard to predict exactly what will now happen in the next days and weeks. But we should not make the mistakes that we are underestimating the Russians.
President Biden today saying the U.S. and NATO had no role in Wagner's actions in Russia. Louisiana could be forced to redraw its congressional districts before next year's election after the Supreme Court today agreed to lift a hold on a challenge, allowing an appeal to the map to move forward.
The court had put consideration on hold as it considered another redistricting challenge in Alabama. In both cases, the states raised concerns about diluting black votes by creating just a single black majority district in violation of the Voting Rights Act. Earlier this month, a 5-4 opinion from the Supreme Court ordered Alabama's legislature to redraw a new map.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Stocks ending the day lower amid investor concerns over geopolitical tensions and aggressive interest rate hikes by international central banks. The Dow down 11 points, the S&P 19 lower, the NASDAQ closing 156 points in the red. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
There were 3. 80 degrees, cloudy downtown, all clear with the radar. You might see some rain tonight, but not much. Low temps drop to 66. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Videos and photos of tornadoes aren't enough for weather researchers. Donnie Burgess reports on why you may see survey teams on the road this week.
The National Weather Service has to actually go to the site of reported tornadoes, says forecaster Greg Mello.
When they're looking to confirm, really, they're just looking at the damage and trying to see if there was a circulation. And if there indeed was a circulation, then they want to look at how well built the houses were to determine how strong the tornado might have been.
He says that kind of data helps meteorologists better prepare for the next time severe storm becomes an issue. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The National Weather Service was able to confirm tornadoes touched down on Johnson, Monroe, and Martin counties Sunday. Monty Wolf with Martin County Emergency Management says that storm did a lot of damage.
A lot of trees down. This house where the couples that was just totally destroyed.
One person was killed in that storm Sunday. Teacher retention is down across the state of Indiana. Sam Fritz reports.
The state of Indiana is struggling to hold on to teachers, according to a Fairbanks Foundation report on education data. In the 2020 to 2021 school year, the state education department recorded 68,205 teachers in the system. 1 year later, that number had fallen to 60,156, totaling a 7% drop from the previous year. Private schools saw the greatest decrease in teacher retention, holding on to less than half of their faculty year over year, while charter schools saw a slight increase. The data does not differentiate between teachers who may have left to teach in a different school or state and teachers who have left the profession entirely. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Republican presidential candidate Mike Pence says taking a position on a pardon for former President Trump is a presumption of guilt.
It's terribly premature, and it shows really a disrespect for our judicial system to talk about that now.
On Fox News yesterday, the former Indiana governor declined to say whether he would pardon Trump if convicted of the 37 federal charges he faces. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
I don't want to go to bed at night dreading waking up in the morning knowing that I'm going to feel like a rusty lawn chair getting out of bed and getting opened up and not being able to really move for a couple hours really throughout the day.
For former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter and those dealing with daily aches and pains, QC Kinetics regenerative pain treatments are a game changer, providing long-lasting relief.
Go into a specific joint, a specific region, and then help promote that healing process using your own body's mechanisms to heal. I mean, that's been something that's pretty powerful, and there's no surgery, there's no downtime.
QC Kinetics natural treatments help the body heal and restore itself. No more rusty lawn chair.
It's no surprise to see people being willing to try this first, especially when it has such great results.
Pain relief the natural way. QC Kinetics. Call today for your complimentary consultation. Find out out if you're a good candidate for treatment. Call QC Kinetics 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, how are the roads, Matt Bear?
Harrison, they're not too bad at the moment. We do have some slowdowns. Inbound 65 slows at MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 not awful, but a little tight from Harding to Meridian, Illinois. Northbound 37 south side stopped Epler up to 465. That's because of construction. Traffic sponsored by LASIK Vision Institute. The LASIK Vision Institute is making LASIK even more affordable. Get $1,000 off LASIK when treated in July. That's $500 off per eye. Plus guaranteed financing. Visit LASIK.com for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, a few isolated showers early on, low temperature of 63 degrees. Tomorrow, a gloomy day, mostly cloudy, high temperature of 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. I was glued to my TV all weekend, man. Yesterday it was the thunderstorms rolling through central Indy, and then Saturday I could not stop watching the what some are calling an attempted coup by the Wagner organization. Wagner, which are hired mercenaries fighting alongside Russian soldiers in Ukraine. They actually turned around, took over a Russian city, and then were marching towards Moscow. It was rumored that Putin had fled to St. Petersburg, Russia, in his compound, but the last second a deal was made, and everybody turned around, and nothing happened.
Worst coup ever.
WCE.
Where's the comic book guy for The Simpsons?
No, but I was watching that. I was fascinated with all that, and there's a lot of questions still remain unanswered. This Wagner group that's run by this guy named Prigozhin. I guess that army, the hired mercenaries, don't really get along with the Russian army.
Well, no, because a lot of their guys are getting killed in this war.
Yeah, and it's poorly ran, and Prigozhin wanted the defense minister of Russia removed, and it was fascinating to watch it play out. I mean, it gets way into the weeds, and I don't understand a lot of it, but it was something. At one point, I looked around, and I said, okay, so we've got a country here that could be spiraling into what looks like a civil war in a country that has the largest stockpile of nuclear weapons. So let's see what Joe Biden has to say about it. I flipped it over to Joe Biden's Twitter. There were 5 tweets in a row about abortion and Roe v. Wade.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, he doesn't run his own Twitter account because I know for a fact Joe was busy because Joe and Hunter went to Camp David together. So keep this in mind. While Russia was, in theory, on verge of what could be viewed as a civil war where nukes were in play, Joe and Crackhead McGee decided they're going to hop on a bird and go to Camp David together.
Probably getting all their ducks in a row, getting ready for their defense of prosecution. I think Biden's lawyered up now with this Spygate and with the IRS whistleblowers and these forms that the FBI, these documents that the FBI has, claiming that when he was vice president, it was pay for play. Maybe that's what maybe they had more important things to do.
A real meeting of the minds at Camp David this past weekend.
Right.
Joe Biden and Hunter Biden together. So while they were out trying to figure out their alibi, that left the party behind trying to figure out, how do we address the media here? So on C-SPAN, Democratic Rep. Brad Sherman, he was asked about the IRS whistleblower, and basically his take was, listen, if this were you and I, this would probably be done a little quicker, but it's Hunter Biden, so don't be shocked if it gets stretched out.
If the investigation into him, though, if he was given preferential treatment or a slow walk, there was bias, should that be further investigated because of this whistleblower's claims?
We should investigate everything, but it wouldn't surprise me if this tax matter went more slowly than it would for Tom, Dick, Harry, or Mary.
Oh, okay.
You don't say. So you're telling me that the folks that carry the water for Joe Biden might drag their feet a little bit looking into Hunter Biden's taxes? Don Jr., your thoughts?
No shit. Who could have seen that coming? I had no idea.
Oh, this whole thing is so crooked, so dirty. Allison, let's play a festive round of Is It Racist?
It's time to play. Is it racist?
Now, if you're new to this program and you're wondering, hey, I want to play, but I don't really understand the rules, here to explain is AOC.
Is it racist? Is something racist, yes or no?
All right, so Nigel,
yeah,
I'm going to read you a headline, and you take it from there. Iowa newspaper apologizes for racist attack on GOP candidate Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, no, I saw this. They published a cartoon about Ramaswamy, and it showed him speaking in front of a crowd of MAGA Republicans yelling ethnic slurs at Ramaswamy, like, get me a Slurpee Apu.
Good Lord.
It showed Ramaswamy smiling back and saying, hello, my MAGA friends. So essentially what the cartoon did was, and there were other things too. It was an ugly, just, let me see, I had it right here. He's speaking at an event, right, to MAGA Republicans, Vivek Ramaswamy. And the cartoon show, he's saying, hello, MAGA friends. And one guy shouts, Muslim! Another cartoon character, show us your birth certificate. And the other one says, get me a Slurpee, Apu.
Good Lord.
So yes, it's incredibly racist, and they were trying to paint MAGA supporters with one giant brush that they're all a bunch of racist rednecks, when in fact Joe Biden is the one that made comments about Indian Americans owning convenience stores and 7-Elevens during his campaign in 2008. Joe Biden describing Barack Obama as well-spoken, articulate, and clean. The women of The View downplaying Senator Tim Scott, and saying he's the exception rather than the rule just because he's a conservative. And the Iowa paper ate their crow and said they were sorry.
Vivek Ramaswamy put out a statement, quote, it's sad that this is how the mainstream media views Republicans. I've met with grassroots conservatives across America and never once experienced the kind of bigotry that I regularly see from the left.
Yep.
Iowa's Quad City Times absolutely has the right to print this, but it's still shameful. That was the statement from Vivek Ramaswamy. Speaking of the political left, Nige, Pride Month continues. Over the weekend, Seattle had their Pride Parade, which featured grown men on camera showing their junk to little kids.
I've seen those videos all over social media. Perverts.
We had New York City's Pride event was held recently, where they had topless activists and drag queens chanting, "We're coming for your children."
We're coming for your children.
We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children.
So I'm going to take that at face value. That's what represents your community right there. And I feel like the gay community has been co-opted by these radical trans groomers. And they don't like it any more than we do.
There's a lot of ticked off people in the gay community that feel like this whole movement has been turned into a cartoon by groomers. You're 100% right with that. And you know what? Even Starbucks knows when to pump the brakes. Now, Starbucks, one of the most liberal companies in America, they're dealing with a major walk-off on the job of their staff right now because they're not telling their employees, you can't put up pride flags. So basically what I'm getting at here, Starbucks learned from Bud Light. Starbucks saw what happened with Bud Light and thought, man, we like politics, but we like making money a hell of a lot more. So how about you guys just don't put the pride flag up in the stores? Well, that didn't go over well with the Starbucks workers, and now they're all threatening a big walk-off.
The same thing happened with the BLM, wearing BLM stuff at Starbucks. I believe the same somewhat similar situation happened there a couple of years ago with that.
Now, speaking of Bud Light, they've inspired a new card game for kids. Have you seen this?
No.
They've inspired a new card game for kids, and the mainstream media, they are eating it up.
It's here, the new game just for kids with a social conscience. It's Wokemon. Instead of everybody's favorite Pikachu, Wokemon has Look-a-Chew, pointing out examples of income inequality, gender debate, and costly corporate decisions. Start collecting all the Wokemon cards today and get your official Wokemon t-shirt in a custom color, yellow, brown, red, or white, whichever one you feel is being underserved by the U.S. government. Get woke. Get Wokemon.
Wokemon cards,
Yes.
available everywhere. Hammer and Nigel products.
And if you have those cards at a parade while you're moving, it's Wokemon Go. Check it out from Hammer and Nigel products. Matt Bear, what's going on?
Inbound 65, stop and go 21st to the north split. Inbound 69, a little bit slow, 96 to 82nd, and northbound 37 drags on its way up from Epler Avenue to 465. That is a construction zone down to one lane in each direction. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Need appliances fast? Shop Grand Appliance for hundreds of in-stock options, unbeatable prices, and extra rebate savings on top brands like LG. Learn more at grandappliance.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, cloudy skies, 79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Early bird special, only $49.99 guaranteed. No irritability, no cravings, because don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. In addition, use hypnosis to lose all the weight and destroy unwanted cravings. Seminars are Thursday, July 20th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, July 22nd at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration is 30 minutes before the event. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
Celebrate big and save even more this 4th of July with Family Dollar. Find all you need from snacks and drinks to party supplies and everything to set the mood. Like festive decor, buy one, get one 50% off. Then fire up the grill to feed your guests. Find Wonder Brand buns and Ballpark Franks both for just $3.25. And to wash it down, get 12 packs of Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper at 3 for just $12. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Response to Diamonds Direct's amazing finance offer has been off the charts, so we're extending it through this Saturday. You can go into the holiday weekend with some new bling and spread your payments over as long as 5 years with special financing, or save up to $5,000 on the spot. It's our best finance offer ever and our most aggressive pricing. Fine jewelry has never been more affordable, but this amazing offer ends this Saturday and will not be extended. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Details and more at diamondsdirect.com. On approved credit.
The share it with a friend deal, even if that friend is yourself. Your McDonald's, your rules.
Treat yourself to tasty deals. Enjoy delicious bundles for $3.29. Try a crispy McChicken with small fries, savory McDouble with small fries, or golden 6-piece McNuggets with small fries. Find your favorite bundle today. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
GeoFocus Academy is the premier online private school for Indiana students, helping students build a successful future regardless of race, income, or geographic boundaries. 96% of Indiana residents qualify to attend tuition-free using the Indiana Choice Scholarship. With certified teachers and hands-on learning from home, you can create a bright future for your child. Now enrolling grades K through 12 for the 2023-2024 school year. Learn more at k12.com/GFA. GeoFocus Academy, where education clicks.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended-release B vitamins.
Murr and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Murr and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Murr, how do we play? Is this anything?
I'm going to run some stories by you. You tell us if those stories are anything or not.
Wonderful.
All right, before we get started here, Nige, over under 2.5 hours. How much of the BET Awards did you watch last night?
Slightly under.
Slightly under.
Slightly
Okay.
under.
Well, maybe this was the part that you saw.
As in, I didn't even know they were on.
Is this anything? Patti LaBelle gave a powerful and uplifting tribute to Tina Turner at last night's BET Awards.
Yeah, she had a rough start, though, I think, right?
She had a tough beginning.
Yeah.
She forgot some of the lyrics to Simply the Best. Here she is going into the second verse, and you tell me if this is anything or not. Uh-oh.
I get, what if I can't see the words? I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Come on. There you go. There it is.
Okay, I got it. I on one hand, I mean, she's 79 years old, but you're the god mother of soul, basically. You're Patti freaking LaBelle. You got to know the words to one of Tina Turner's most famous songs in her catalog. So even if the teleprompter does go out, you are able to push your way through the song. Yes, that's something. That's awful. You're a pro. You're Patti LaBelle, for God's sake.
If you knew you were being tasked to pay tribute to Tina Turner, wouldn't you study up the song?
I don't know how it works with these artists, but somebody on her level probably they said, hey, we're going to have it all on teleprompter for you. Just get out there, do your thing, and then you can come off and you're done. So, I mean, again, she's 79 years old.
Yeah, but she was like Frank Drebin in The Naked Gun right there doing the national anthem. Bunch of bombs in the air. I mean, come on, Patti. Try.
Wow, that was hilarious. You just compared Patti LaBelle to Frank Drebin and Naked Gun.
All we're asking for is a freaking effort, Patti. Come on now.
And she was doing that thing where, you know, like Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire was doing, where he was just signed Kush and he's on the road and he's trying to find a song to sing along to, and he keeps mumbling the lyrics and I'm free. Like, so she was mumbling the lyrics, but then when Simply the Best, the chorus came about, she knew those words.
Allison, could you play it one more time, please? Just can I hear Patti LaBelle completely mail it in?
See the words, I don't know. I'm trying, y'all. Hey, just as long as I'm here in your arms.
She goes, oh Lord. She knew she was in trouble.
All right, Allison, can you turn my computer up here for just a moment? So you heard Patti LaBelle right there. Now tell me if that's any better or any worse than Frank Drebin mailing it in The Naked Gun.
She was doing that in the song.
Right. She was doing that in the song.
Yeah, you're a pro, Patti. Got to be better than that. That's something.
Is this anything? The Tucson Police Department is launching a new job where the average civilian could help police officers solve crimes.
Okay, wonderful. I believe I've seen this movie before. It's called Police Academy 4 Citizens on Patrol.
They're calling the position a professional staff investigator, and they'll do a similar job as a detective, but you won't have a gun and you won't be considered a first responder. Here is the lieutenant talking about this amazing opportunity.
You know, there's been different things in the media where community members help solve cases, so we want to get those people. We want to get that untapped potential. Once this is all done, they're going to go through a 7-week academy, then they're going to go through 12 weeks of field training, and then once they're done, their day's going to look very similar to our other detectives. They'll be able to go to any scene once the scene is safe, so they won't be first responders, they won't have a gun. If they interview a suspect, that person will have to be made completely safe, and they'll have a sworn officer with them.
Boy, I don't know. I think you're asking for trouble there. 19 weeks of training, basically, and then you're investigating crimes and homicides, and I don't know about that. That doesn't seem like it's anything to me, Hammer. I mean, are they really that hard up in the Tucson Police Department? They're going to bring civilians in to start solving crimes? Again, I've seen Police Academy 4 Citizens on Patrol. It didn't go well for the police.
No, it did not go well in Police Academy 4. And, what's the interview process like here? Well, I watch a lot of true crime documentaries, so I kind of think I know how this whole thing works.
Right.
I subscribe to the murder sheet, so where do I get my gun at?
You said they wouldn't be holding guns. Yeah, I don't know if I would really, if God forbid a family member of mine or a friend of mine gets killed and I've got a civilian on staff looking at this crime and trying to figure out the facts and details. No, thank you.
You call the police and all of a sudden your buddy Dave comes over.
Hey, I just got off work. I'm also, Joe Sixpack just gets off his job, roofing, and now he's investigating a homicide all of a sudden. No.
Damn, somebody got killed over here. Yeah, that's why we called for an expert, and they sent Kenny over here. Is this anything? A former corporate chef for McDonald's has a hack to help you find out whether the McDonald's close to you is a good one or not. Here he is.
You need to go into your local McDonald's at a peak time, so heavy lunch rush, heavy dinner rush, and I need you to order 10 quarter pounders with cheese, and you could add some, changes to those burgers as well. But if you could get your complete order in under 5 minutes and all of the ingredients or adjustments that you request are accurate, you are at a good McDonald's. If they cannot handle it, then it might not be the best running McDonald's. There could be other issues, but this is a great test to determine, is your McDonald's a good one?
Yeah, that's something. Sure. Yeah. You order 10 quarter pounders with cheese. If they deliver, if they deliver the goods within 5 minutes. Like I told you the story about how I was in Vegas, the McDonald's at MGM Grand. I ordered 100 double cheeseburgers and they got them to me within 10 minutes. Yeah, it was obvious. The McDonald's by me in Zionsville is really good. I've been there at rush hour, trying to get kids food or like a road trip or something. And the one in Zionsville is a bad habit of leaving stuff out of my order. So I'm that guy that sits at the drive-thru after the gag.
You know who I am? I'm the guy that gets stuck behind this jag-off ordering 10 quarter pounders, all special orders, and I just want to get 2 things and get out. That's who I am. It took longer than 5 minutes for me to get my food because Mr. Testy McTesterton over here had to order 10 special quarter pounders. Bite me.
Rob, here's a number I'd like you to consider.
Yes.
35%.
Oh.
How would you like to get a 35% bonus when you invest your money?
Yes, please.
So if you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. And if you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. But don't wait, because this 35% bonus, it ends on Friday, June 30th.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. You can sleep well at night knowing your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. Learn how you could get this 35% bonus by calling Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
Remember, this 35% bonus offer ends on Friday, June 30th. So don't wait. Call today. Get your 35% bonus by calling 317-932-9912. That number, 317-932-9912.
It's a 300-degree sauna in this house right now. We have to get this AC fixed before we all melt.
A bit dramatic, don't you think?
Honey, we're melting in here and can't take it much longer.
Literally melting.
Okay, I know who to call.
At Mr. Quick, we keep your AC system running smoothly all summer. Call Mr. Quick today and get $54 off any AC repair. And now you can easily schedule online at callmrquick.com.
Call Mr. Quick for on time.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in Johnson County, Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling. Now, when you hear heating and cooling companies advertising a free furnace or air conditioner, do you believe them? You're best to follow your gut on those sketchy claims. If you want an honest quote with honest pricing, call the team at Marshall Mechanical. Just go to callthemarshallnow.com. Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling is your American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in Johnson County.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Those tornadoes you saw have been confirmed. 80 degrees and cloudy at the circle. Radar shows some rain north of Indianapolis. Low temps tonight fall to the mid-60s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. The storms you dealt with Sunday produced 3 tornadoes. You may have already seen video footage from Johnson, Monroe, or Martin counties, but the National Weather Service has to be sure, says meteorologist Greg Mello.
They'll go out and survey and officially confirm those tornadoes. Even though we have footage, we need to go out and survey them before we can really confirm them.
And they confirmed a tornado touchdown in each of those 3 counties this afternoon. One man is at a hospital after they were hit by a car near Crown Hill Cemetery Sunday night. Investigators believe the man was hit while trying to cross West 38th near Illinois Street, about 1 mile from the cemetery. IMPD is looking for the vehicle who hit the man and who was behind the wheel. Russian President Vladimir Putin is calling a march on Moscow by a group of mercenary soldiers criminal activity. He spoke Monday, a few days after the head of the Wagner Group turned around his troops in what he called a march of protest to avoid Russian bloodshed. Putin said whoever organized the rebellion will be brought to justice. The Biden administration is investing $40 billion to expand high-speed internet around the country. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
The $42.5 billion grant program represents the largest internet funding announcement ever.
Because for today's economy to work for everyone, internet access is just as important as electricity was, or water, or other basic services.
President Biden says the pandemic revealed inequality in high-speed and reliable broadband for students and remote workers. The funding approved as part of the 2021 bipartisan infrastructure law includes projects in every state and territory and provides investments for fiber optic manufacturing. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Aliyah Boston may just be a rookie for the Indiana Fever, but she's also been named a starter in the WNBA All-Star Game.
Honestly, I'm so excited. It's like unreal. My family is pumped, and I'm just super excited. It's really a blessing.
Boston was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. She's the 8th rookie to get a start in the All-Star Game and the first to do it since 2014. Your stock report, the Dow dropped 12 points to 33,714. The NASDAQ down by 156 to 13,335. And the S&P 500 down by 19 points today to 44,328. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:34.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-240-1465. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now, 800-240-1465.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-240-1465. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck without with a major car repair bill, call Ox Car Care, 800-240-1465 or oxcarcare.com.
With traffic at 435, here's Matt Baer.
Inbound 65, stop and go 21st to Meridian Pit. And eastbound 70 a little bit slow at west right now. Then northbound 37 on the south side, that's stopped at Epler to 465 because of road work. On the northeast side, southbound 69, slow 96 down to 82nd. Northbound lanes stop and go through Lawrence before Penn Pike up to 69. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all their products. Plus manufacturer's rebates. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, a few isolated showers early on, low temperature of 63 degrees. Tomorrow, a gloomy day, mostly cloudy, high temperature of 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level, on the Go, and on WIBC.com.
It's not like you to say sorry.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Multiple fatalities and shootings in Broad Ripple over the weekend. The one we're about ready to talk about, the one that happened, it was at like 2 o'clock in the morning, late Sunday morning, Hammer, right there at Broad Ripple in Guilford, near Kilroy's, and there's a Jimmy John's right there. Major intersection of Broad Ripple Avenue. I mean,
popular intersection.
Intersection I've been to many times in my 20s and early 30s. And, I'm 47 now. I haven't been to late night in Broad Ripple in a long time. Things have certainly changed since, I was regularly out until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in Broad Ripple on the weekends, and certainly in the summer nights when I was in my 20s. And something's changed, man. Something has definitely changed.
So let me ask you a question, Nige. Have you ever been so intoxicated that you weren't able to do your job, you didn't show up for a riot, and it's caused problems in your marriage? Have you ever been in that situation?
That scenario sounds familiar to me. I can't quite put my finger on it, but for me personally, no.
Here's Joe Hogsett.
People are asking themselves, what has changed about Broad Ripple? Well, let me make it perfectly clear. Nothing has changed about one of our most vibrant, creative neighborhoods and entertainment districts. Here's what's changed. In 2012, when I was serving as the United States Attorney, the federal prosecutor, there were just over 50,000 active gun permits in Indianapolis. This year, we are on pace to end the year with nearly 160,000 active gun permits in this city. And that's after the state legislature took action to encourage the permitless carry of guns in this city.
So I'm sorry. So he's saying lawful gun owners are the problem here? Is that what he's saying? I mean, has anybody stopped to ask this doofus why there are so many active gun permits and an increase, an explosion, as he put it, in gun permits over the past few, especially 4 years? It's because of your crime policies and your prosecutors' crime policies and the revolving door of the criminal justice system and the fact that you won't lock these repeat violent offenders up.
But Nige, one of his good, close personal friends and butt sniffers, Thomas Cook, said that it's because the population of the city's just gotten bigger. That's all that it is. Or maybe it's that the gruesome twosome of Hogsett and Ryan Mears have made the city feel so uncomfortable by allowing criminals to feel emboldened by just letting them right back out on the streets, that more people are filing the paperwork to get their weapons.
And I'd like to see, I want to know if these, have they caught the people that perpetrated these crimes over the weekend, these criminals, these shootings? Did they have their gun legally?
Don't know the answer to that.
I think it's a coin toss at this point on whether or not they had their gun legally. Because if you're willing to pull out a gun and shoot somebody at 2 o'clock in the morning in the intersection of a very popular neighborhood, I don't think you're too worried about permits and gun registration and all that things that come along with having a legal gun.
This is just an attempt for Joe Hogsett to brainwash low IQ voters into thinking he's doing something to fight crime.
So transparent.
Because this whole argument about permitless carry, constitutional carry, you still have to pass a background check. Say it with me, people in the back. You still have to pass a background check. The only thing different than the policy before is you don't actually have a paper permit that's wadded up in your wallet next to the condoms. That's the only difference. Please share that message.
I can't believe what he just said, really.
Oh, there's more. Do you want to hear more?
The only difference is there's more gun permits. So he's blaming, and essentially that other idiot you mentioned, the guy that does his Twitter, does he still do?
I think he still does it, because every time I bash Hogsett, I make sure I tag him in it, and one of the first likes or shares you get is that guy. So it tells you he's running the account.
Okay, whatever.
Here's a little bit more from Boss Hogsett.
While I have the utmost respect for the Second Amendment and the rights of law-abiding citizens to own guns, what we saw last night is what has changed about Broad Ripple and so many of our entertainment districts. It is the belief that it's perfectly appropriate to go out and inject a deadly mixture of alcohol and guns into neighborhoods such as this. It wasn't always this way, and it doesn't have to be this way. We are here today to say enough is enough. We will not let this level of lawlessness and carelessness reign supreme over places like Broad Ripple. Now, I'll be honest with you. If I had the ability to keep guns off Broad Ripple Avenue on Friday and Saturday nights, I would do it right now. But our state legislature has seen fit to ensure that I do not have the authority to do that.
Thank God. Thank God. And Joe, I know you're fired up. When you're sober, you're Mr. Tough Guy. But where was this can-do, spirited fighter attitude when the city was burning and windows were being broken with bricks during the Summer of Love in 2020? Where were you then, Joe? Again, my dad is the only person that's asked you this right to your face. Where were you during the riots? And if Jefferson Shreve does not ask you that question to your face during a debate, then he's a weenie too. I'm so sick of all this kind of stuff, man. I live here. My family lives here. I'm a Marion County resident, and I'm so sick of all of this stuff. One more time, let's hear Boss Hogsett talking about gun-free zones.
As I announced just a few weeks ago, the city has actively encouraged civic, neighborhood, and private organizations who do host high-traffic events to consider requesting special event permits that, once granted, would allow them to declare these activities to be gun-free. This morning, I'm heartened after speaking with the Broad Ripple Village Association leadership that I've received their commitment that they will be requesting such a permit to be issued beginning
Okay, you can
next
stop
week.
this.
I've had enough, yeah.
Ironically, his voice makes me want to drink. Allison, hit me with a little legal stuff, please. Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff. New York City, Nige, getting to the bottom of the big issues.
Oh, crime?
They're cracking down on coal and wood-fired pizzerias because of emissions. The New York City Department of Environmental Protection has drafted new rules that would order pizzerias in New York that use wood-fired or coal pizza making processes to switch it up. Now, this is an expensive move for a lot of these restaurants, and we've been watching some videos on social media. We can't really share them because of some language, but these owners of these pizzerias are not happy.
So it's the pizzerias that are causing the climate problem, right? We're blaming the pizza owners now, pizza shop owners.
Let me read you a statement from the guy that's in charge of the Department of Environmental Protection. Quote, All New Yorkers deserve to breathe healthy air, and wood and coal-fired stoves are among the largest contributors of harmful pollutants in our neighborhoods with poor air quality. You know what else is causing people to have breathing problems in New York? Being shot. Being shot in the chest is causing breathing problems, I think a little bit more than these pizzerias are doing. So maybe, just maybe, focus on that. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Wake up your taste buds with Bluebell Java Jolt, a delicious pint of coffee ice cream with dark chocolate-flavored chunks and a decadent coffee fudge swirl. It's the jolt you need to perk up your day.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at all Meijer stores.
The guys from Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and turned my garage floor, my old, gross, cracked garage floor, turned it into something brand new within a day. It's beautiful, and they don't use epoxy. That's the old standard the other guys use. Galaxy uses something much better. It's called polyurea. It's the new premium standard for coatings, and it's 4 times stronger. It's easy to clean. My color won't fade. See their website. Check out the pictures. Get a quote. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or call 751-9070.
While the warm weather has you feeling like new, get old with a money market account from Old National Bank and earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield. Whether you're saving up for something big or just for a rainy day, Old National is here for you. Earn 5.00% APY with our limited time 12-month introductory money market offer. To earn the promotional rate, account must be funded with a minimum of $10,000 not on deposit at Old National as of April 14th, 2023. Learn more at oldnational.com or visit a local banking center today. Offer not available online. Member FDIC. Old National Bank. Get old.
Okay, here's our to-do list for the road trip.
Wait a minute, Tire Discounters isn't on here.
That's because I know you'll go there anyway.
I was just on their website.
There's a shock.
They've got a road trip ready sale going on right now. They thought of everything. Oil change, brake and alignment checks, wipers, rotation and balancing.
Okay, go.
Will do.
You love Tire Discounters. You want to marry Tire Discounters.
Honey, we're just friends.
Get your family road trip ready and save.
That's Faber's Bean Window. Trust me.
In the last 40 years, over 80,000, that's right, 80,000 Indiana families have trusted their home to B Window. Help us celebrate our 40th year anniversary and receive 40% off all products, plus special manufacturer rebates and up to 20 months, no interest, no payments. Just go to bwindow.com. We'll take care of the rest.
That's Faber's Bean Window. Trust me.
Does your child need a school that understands their learning style and keeps them engaged in the learning process? Indiana Gateway Digital Academy is an online public school offering a supportive learning environment, empowering students through a whole child approach with passionate teachers focused on student well-being and positive academic outcomes. Indiana Gateway Digital Academy is a tuition-free school now enrolling grades K through 12. Learn more at k12.com/INGDA. Indiana Gateway Digital Academy, committed to the success of every student.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Receive 40% off all products, plus special manufacturer rebates and up to 20 months, no interest, no payments. Just go to bwindow.com. We'll take care of the rest.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Crash 21st and Post, and we have a ladder on the interstate. It's northbound 65 on the south side, right around 465. It's covering the left and left to center lanes. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Plus, manufacturers' rebates get 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, we've been talking about the violence in Broad Ripple and how, you can hear me rolling my eyes through the microphone when we play clips of Hogsett talking about making Broad Ripple a gun-free zone. Why don't you just make it a crime-free zone?
Right. How about a murder-free zone?
Now, and one of the things we always get on Twitter, what's your solution? You have solutions. We've been talking about solutions on this program for years.
So when I become the mayor of Indianapolis, here's my plan. Now, I'm not telling you this is perfect, but I think it would put Indianapolis in a much better position than the hellhole that it's in right now. First of all, to make room for some of the bad guys we need to lock up, we are going to release victimless crime folks out with ankle monitors. You make them pay a fine and any restitution to somebody they may have robbed. You put them back out. And if they can't make those payments, then they go back. But I'm telling you, they will find a way to make payments because they don't want to go back to the joint. So victimless crime folks, we're going to let them out, put ankle monitors on them. Now, we've made some room for the bad guys. Habitual felons, you have to lock up. You have to be tough. This isn't anything that's groundbreaking. The Johnson County prosecutor is doing it. The Hamilton County prosecutor is doing it. It doesn't matter if they may or may not fall into your voter base. You have to lock up habitual bad guys and send a message that that kind of bullcrap will not be tolerated here in Indianapolis. Now, if you still don't have enough room to lock up bad guys, you have to make some cuts in your budget in other departments. If that means you don't get to build another line, the red line, the blue line, the purple line, that's fine. Scrap the line project. Make some cuts in other departments. I know it sucks, but maybe the parks department and other places, you make some cuts. You find the money. This is a state that's working with the surplus. If you have to build another jail, do it. It's unpopular to say lock more bad guys up, but that's exactly what has to happen. And speaking of money, some of the money coming in from tourism, whether it's conventions, whether it's this new hotel that you're doing, fund some mentor programs in the hot spots, the areas where you see a lot of crime from young kids. You start mentor programs. You have father figure programs. You get some sort of after school activities going on to where if these kids are playing basketball, football, whatever, they're not out doing ridiculous bull crap, and you have a major mentor presence in the city of Indianapolis.
More community policing, as far as I'm concerned as well. I mean, more 10-point coalition patrolling more high crime areas, dialogue between community leaders, more investments in places like the Shepherd Community. Hammer, you were talking about investing in. Pastor Charles Harrison, Reverend Charles Harrison from the 10-Point Coalition can only do so much, and he's had success. It doesn't seem like Joe Hogsett wants any part of working hand in hand with Reverend and the 10-Point Coalition, and they deserve to be recognized for all they're doing to push forward positive change.
The plan I put forth, it requires an adult to make tough decisions. Some folks will have some budgets cut, but for the greater good of the city of Indianapolis. I know it's not perfect. Nothing will be perfect, but that's the plan that would be a hell of a lot better than what's happening right now. So if you agree, if you disagree, hit us up on social media, the YouTube chat, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Hammer and Nigel. Now, on to something completely different and totally dumb.
Okay.
One of our favorite social media channels is called There I Ruined It.
Oh, no.
Where somebody takes two different songs that have nothing to do with each other, mixes them up, and makes one awesome remix. So the one that they've got out now makes me smile, makes me laugh. Have you ever seen the movie The Jungle Book, Nige? When you were a kid, did you ever see The Jungle Book?
I feel like I read, or no, maybe I'm thinking about Where the Wild Things Are. As the
Jungle Book had that hit song, The Bare Necessities.
Yeah.
Somebody mixed up The Bare Necessities from The Jungle Book with Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice.
No.
Hey, I'll kick a little something for the G and make a few ends as I breeze through. 2 in the morning and the party still jumping cause my mama ain't home. I got bitches in the living room getting it on and they ain't leaving till 6 in the morning. So what you wanna do?
Oh no.
I got a pocket full of rubbers and my homeboys do too.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about right there. That's put me back into a good mood.
That just ruined it for me. For sure.
Coming up, man, we got a star-studded 5 o'clock hour. Marcus Bailey, Wish TV, is going to join us coming up in just a moment. He saw the tornado. It was kind of close to his house. Also, Murr from Impractical Jokers, Daisy from the Chicks on the Right. We're having fun. Come on back.
For the first time ever since opening its doors, the Indianapolis Men's Clinic is now the only men's health organization offering an intimacy guarantee. That's right. If you don't perform, you don't pay. You heard that right. Restoring intimacy is important to everyone. Helping men with a proven solution is what drives success. That's why the Indianapolis Men's Clinic stands by their intimacy guarantee. Now you will have the assurance and confidence of proven outcomes without the fear of financial loss. By using the latest technology for the treatment of ED, acoustic wave therapy uses pressure waves to open existing blood vessels, which restores spontaneity and intimacy for you and your loved one. Stop trusting companies that feed you empty promises with no results. Trust an intimacy guarantee. Trust the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic today. 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or IndianapolisMen'sClinic.com.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep. And a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements. Learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better. Night after night. Sleep next level. Only from Sleep Number.
The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is now only $899. Plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends 4th of July.
That kitchen or bath remodel you've been ready to start? With inflation rising, waiting is just going to make it more expensive. Start that remodel today. Hey, it's Tony Katz for Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. Get on the schedule now to avoid some of those price increases. Booher Remodeling is the finest remodeler in central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Go to BooherRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation. BooherRemodeling.com.
Get ready to save with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering fast and reliable speeds for $49.99 a month. Free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security. And a free Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Go to spectrum.com/save more and use the Spectrum One savings calculator to see how much you can save today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
We all know that feeling. Unexpectedly, the car breaks down, costing you hundreds or thousands of dollars from your emergency fund. Protect yourself and your car with Ox Car Care. Avoid the headaches and save thousands of dollars on repairs. You don't pay, Ox pays. Get 0 repair bills and 0 headaches. Ox takes care of their claims from start to finish. Unlike the other warranty companies, Ox Car Care members get free oil changes, free tire rotations, and free roadside assistance. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee and are A+ rated with the BBB. Drive with peace of mind, like our friend Bill Oberlin, professional race car driver.
Hi, I'm Bill Oberlin. My cars mean everything to my success. The same goes for my personal cars, too. That's why I trust Ox Car Care to make sure I'm covered when expenses and repairs come up. Ox Car Care has my back, and they'll have yours, too.
Drive with peace of mind. Call Ox Car Care for a free quote. 800-240-1465. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-240-1465. 800-240-1465. Or oxcarcare.com.
The share it with a friend deal. Even if that friend is yourself. Your McDonald's, your rules.
Treat yourself to tasty deals. Enjoy delicious bundles for $3.29. Try a crispy McChicken with small fries, savory McDouble with small fries, or golden 6-piece McNuggets with small fries. Find your favorite bundle today. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the National Weather Service has confirmed multiple tornadoes touched down Sunday. IMPD is investigating a hit-and-run near Crown Hill Cemetery last night and why Indiana's a great state for competitive eaters. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Reacting to Russia's turmoil, I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden today making his first public remarks since the weekend revolt by Russian mercenaries.
President Biden says the U.S. and key allies made clear they were not involved.
We gave Putin no excuse to blame this on the West or to blame this on NATO.
The president says the unrest was part of a struggle within the Russian system.
But it's still too early to reach a definitive conclusion about where this is going.
President Biden says he'll make sure allies and partners remain closely aligned in reading and responding to the situation.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. President Biden today announcing at least $40 billion in investments in all 50 states for projects to expand access to high-speed internet for homes and small businesses.
With this funding, along with other federal investments, we're going to be able to connect every person in America to reliable, high-speed internet by 2030.
The White House estimates about 8.5 million homes and businesses in the U.S. do not have access to high-speed internet. Republican presidential hopeful and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis taking his campaign to South Texas today to discuss plans to handle migrants crossing the border.
He says if cartels are cutting through sections of the border to smuggle drugs, they will be met with force through, quote, adequate rules of engagement.
If the cartels are cutting through the border wall, trying to run product into this country, they're going to end up stone cold dead as a result of that bad decision.
The DNC calls DeSantis' plan political gimmicks and cruel.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. The Supreme Court today ending its block on a case out of Louisiana, allowing an appeal to move forward challenging congressional district maps. Earlier this month, the court rejected legislative district maps in Alabama, ruling they were unfair to minority voters. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
3 confirmed. Cloudy and 78 degrees on the circle. Radar shows some storms just north of Indianapolis. Low temps fall to 63 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. 3 tornadoes have been confirmed from Sunday's storms. They touched down in Johnson, Monroe, and Martin counties. Donnie Burgess explains how those confirmations were made.
The National Weather Service team is busy checking out the damage in counties like Johnson and Martin, where tornadoes were reported.
They'll go out and survey and officially confirm those tornadoes. Even though we have footage, we need to go out and survey them before we can really confirm them.
Forecaster Greg Mello says actually confirming the tornadoes adds valuable data to researchers' records. That helps them plan ahead for the next round of severe weather, which means you will be more prepared. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Monty Wolf with Martin County Emergency Management says the storm did a lot of damage near him, especially in rural areas.
A lot of trees down. This house where the couple was at was just totally destroyed.
One person was killed in that storm in Martin County Sunday. One man is at the hospital after they were hit by a car near Crown Hill Cemetery Sunday night. Investigators believe the man was hit while trying to cross West 38th near Illinois Street, about 1 mile from the cemetery. IMPD is looking for the vehicle who hit the man and who was behind the wheel. If you know anything, give them a call. Teacher retention is down across the state. Sam Fritz reports.
The state of Indiana is struggling to hold on to teachers, according to a Fairbanks Foundation report on education data. In the 2020 to 2021 school year, the state education department recorded 68,205 teachers in the system. 1 year later, that number had fallen to 60,156, totaling a 7% drop from the previous year. Private schools saw the greatest decrease in teacher retention, holding on to less than half of their faculty year over year, while charter schools saw a slight increase. The data does not differentiate between teachers who may have left to teach in a different school or state and teachers who have left the profession entirely. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Does the name Joey Chestnut ring a bell? He's one of the most successful competitive eaters in the world, and he lives in central Indiana. Turns out the Hoosier State's a good place to live if you're knocking back meals while trying to land on a podium. Gambling.com says that Indiana was the third best competitive eating state last year. The website took into account several factors in the ranking, including the number of professionals who live in the state, the amount of contests held here, and if any records have been set. Nevada was named the best state overall. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Seminars Thursday, July 20th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30, stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. And Saturday, July 22nd at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m., stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at southbound 65 Boone County, stop and go before the dog leg. Northbound 465, stop and go traffic, 86th Street to 865. Head east, you're slow to Meridian, going the other direction. Westbound lanes also slow Meridian over to 865. Eastbound 465, stop and go traffic before Keystone over to Allisonville Road, and inbound 69 drags from 96th Street down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by LASIK Vision Institute. The LASIK Vision Institute is making LASIK even more affordable. Get $1,000 off LASIK when treated in July. That's $500 off per eye, plus guaranteed financing. Visit LASIK.com for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, a few isolated showers early on, low temperature of 63 degrees. Tomorrow, a gloomy day, mostly cloudy, high temperature of 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige right across from me. Tornado ripped its way through Johnson County yesterday, and some of the most amazing, horrifying photos came from the social media account of somebody whose job is to tell you about these storms. Marcus Bailey, meteorologist for Wish TV 8, joins us on the drivehubler.com hotline. Marcus, I was following your Twitter feed yesterday because at first it started off as thunderstorm warnings and things like that. We had hail falling, and you had some great pictures, and I started retweeting things. And then you posted a photo of what it was like over by your house in Johnson County, and you can clearly see the tornado in the background. How close did that get to your house?
I would guesstimate, kind of looking from it. I'll tell you, it certainly felt a lot closer than maybe what it was as I was kind of looking outside. But probably at the tail end of that. I would say probably within a mile, maybe a mile and a half. It was interesting, Hammer, as that whole thing kind of progressed. We had the severe thunderstorm warnings going off, and there was some damaging wind, and then all of a sudden that thing just cycled up so fast. And we got the emergency alerts on the phone, and you heard the sirens going off in Johnson County, and I'm getting my family downstairs and saying, hey, let's just get in the safe spot here. And me being the dad, and I'm a weather nerd too, I had to take a peek outside, and it was one of those moments where I'm like, is this really happening? That I could actually see the debris being lifted. You couldn't really initially see the funnel, but you looked over the houses, and I was looking to the west, and there was clearly debris being lofted, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a tornado that is very, very close to our neighborhood.
And Marcus, it feels like this came on so fast. We knew there was the chance for severe weather, but it feel like it went from sunshine and 80 plus degrees to severe thunderstorm warning, sirens are going off, some places are getting hail, to tornado on the ground very quickly.
It did. And we were concerned with that. We knew that we were going to get 2 waves of rain initially. We were going to have this morning complex, which, we did, and thankfully it came through with no severe weather issues. But boy, I mean, if you went outside yesterday before the second wave of severe weather came out, you just felt it felt different, right? It was soupy. It was juicy is the word that I kind of use.
It felt like Florida. If you've been down to Florida, it felt just like that.
Absolutely. And so that's never a good sign when you get in these kind of setups, because that means the atmosphere, the air is primed and ready to go. And that's exactly what happened. We had untapped potential. And once the storm started kind of going and they were just free moving into areas that had all of this juicy air into it, there was nothing to really slow it down. And so that's why they ended up ramping up. And to your point, Hammer, I mentioned it on air this morning. This is the first time in a long time where we really had all phases of severe weather. It wasn't just the tornadoes. They're going to get all of the play because of the incredible video. But some of the hail, I mean, we had baseball-sized, softball-sized hail in some areas, and then some damaging wind reports, too. So you had all kind of severe weather reports with this. It was just a nasty, nasty complex.
We're chatting with Marcus Bailey, meteorologist for WISH TV 8, not only reporting on the tornado damage in Johnson County, was able to see it from his house. Marcus, have you had a chance to kind of go around the neighborhood, drive around a little bit to see any of the damage?
I haven't. I know the vicinities of where they're at, but, I've done this long enough now that I don't want to be a looky-loo. I wasn't officially in a working capacity yesterday, and I know that there's a lot of recovery efforts with making sure first and foremost that everybody was safe. And from what I understand now, at least in my area, there were no reported significant injuries, but there's a whole lot of damage that extends from just minor, maybe some roof damage, to complete destruction of buildings. And so I didn't get a chance. I've seen what we have shown on WISH TV, which looks pretty extensive. I go by these areas frequently because obviously it's very close, within a mile or two. So I'm very familiar with, there's really incredible video that's been going around of an apartment complex that was in the process of being built. That was just completely, not completely destroyed, but a lot of destruction with it. And that's probably about 1.5 miles from my house. So I think once things kind of settle down, I may kind of venture out to kind of take a look. I'm trying to stay clear a little bit to let everybody kind of get the recovery efforts going on.
How close was this area that's been affected to the area that got hit early in the year, late March, early April? I can't remember. But the new Whiteland area, man, it seems like they just can't catch a break. How close was this area to that area?
Awfully close. Now, none of the areas that were hit, so that tornado outbreak was March 31st. And it hit squarely in Whiteland. I did a measurement of where the estimated track from yesterday's storm was to the March 31st tornado outbreak, and it was a little less than 4.5 miles from that track. So you're talking about, yesterday's was kind of the north end of Bargersville, and then kind of on the Greenwood New Whiteland line, whereas the March 31st one was a little bit farther south and impacted squarely just the town of Whiteland. But look, I mean, they're still cleaning up from that March storm in Whiteland. And I'm sure a lot of people get stressed out when they hear the sirens. Yesterday, I'm sure, was an extremely stressful day because not only were the sirens going off, they were probably close enough that they didn't get any damage in Whiteland, but I'm certain that they could probably see the tornado from where they were at.
So let's talk about the sirens here for just a moment, because I think it feels like we should refresh everybody on when you hear the siren, because a lot of people, they were watching the news, they hear, oh my God, there's a tornado touching down in Johnson County right now. And then I live in Marion County. I hear the sirens where I live. So let's refresh. When you hear a siren go off, what does that mean?
The problem is, Hammer, is it's a little bit different for every county. And so that's why we urge people. I mean, sirens are designed specifically for people that are outdoors. It's not intended for people that are inside, because it is a very old technology. But the siren is there to give you a heads up that there is impending severe weather. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's always a tornado warning. For case in point,
right?
I know in Johnson County and in Marion County, if you're under a tornado watch, they will sound the tornado sirens if there is a severe thunderstorm warning. So that could be some cause for confusion.
Because there was a severe thunderstorm warning in Marion County yesterday, and those sirens went off, but it happened to be around the same time that the tornado outbreak was happening in Johnson County. And I think a lot of people were confused, thinking that the tornado was going to be making its way to Marion County.
Correct. And I mean, look, you're talking northern Johnson County. It's fairly close, and so I get where that, but the polygon for that tornado warning never really entered into Marion County. But the protocol has always been, if there was a tornado watch and a severe thunderstorm warning in Marion County, they sound the siren. And so not only if you lived on the south side of Indianapolis did you hear the sirens, but those sirens were going off in northern Marion County as well, which can be confusing, right? Because that's a long way away from where all of this action was taking place. So the way I always try to tell people is this, is if the siren is going off, you need to take your precautions, sure. But I think that's also a sign for you to get more information on exactly where this is. There are so many tools that you can use online via apps that can alert you. I know my EAS, if you have your EAS action on your phone, your smartphone, we ended up getting that push alerts because of the government sending that out. And so that's when you knew it was a legit tornado warning that was going on and not so much the siren. So the sirens have their use, and I'm not trying to discount that at all, but I think there's some confusion. It's useful. Use that, but also use it as a chance to gather more information via apps, via TV, via radio, and via social media as well.
Well, Marcus, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad your family, your house is okay. And again, great job yesterday keeping everybody up to date with your social media feed and everything. And we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Hammer.
All right, Matt Baer standing by. He's got to look at the roads.
All right, Hammer in the Pike, southbound 65 coming down low from Whitestown Parkway to the dog leg and then drags a bit to 86th Street. Still on the northwest side, northbound 465 stop and go. 86th Street to 865 making Easter slow out to ditch. Inbound 69 stop and go traffic 106th Street down to 82nd. Southeast side, southbound 465 slows before 74 to Arlington Avenue. It's a crash 21st at Post and downtown. Inbound 65 slowing out 21st to the north split. Traffic sponsored by LASIK Plus. LASIK Plus is the patient's choice for LASIK. Get $1,000 off LASIK when treated in July. That's $500 off for I Plus guaranteed financing. Visit mylasicoffer.com for details. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration. Well, what steps should be taken by men to keep their testosterone levels in homeostasis?
Living a healthy lifestyle is one of the most important things that you can do. Avoiding toxins, alcohol, drugs, keeping social, exercise, all those things are very important. But one of the most important things that you should do is get it tested. You don't know if you don't test. And I've had several gals say, I'm trying to get my boyfriend in to get his testosterone level checked. They don't want to do it. The one gentleman who had the 85 was actually a girlfriend that made him come in, get his testosterone checked. And as soon as he found out, he didn't come back. But
he could have been helped.
Yeah, it's like if I avoid the problem, it'll go away.
It will go away.
That's absolutely true.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather. Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Mark loves summers in Indy, but he hates to paint, so he called Rhino Shield.
It's a two-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 10% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Do you wonder what your home is worth in an ever-changing housing market?
Did you know that your home's value changes constantly due to mortgage rate changes, seasonality, and what other homes near you have recently sold for?
I'm Greg Cooper.
And I'm Lisa Phillips.
And we want to be your real estate resource not only when you move, but even when you aren't.
Our passion is to serve Central Indiana homeowners with the best information and advocacy available.
Try us out. Find out what your home is worth online right now at HoosierHomeValues2023.com.
That's HoosierHomeValues2023.com.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Malia. We often get asked when is the best time to buy, and the answer is today, not tomorrow. With rising utility costs, rising product costs, and missed opportunity costs, which you could be saving with a high-efficiency system. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-depth estimate, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Discover how to save more of your hard-earned money. Listen to WIBC this Saturday from 5 to 6 a.m. for secure retirement tips from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. This Saturday, 5 to 6 a.m. on WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. We have a very special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
He is one of the Impractical Jokers. They are coming to Indy, the Drive Tour.
Did you get all the drives in there?
I did.
Okay.
Having flashbacks to my high school football days there. July 28th, Gamebridge Fieldhouse. James Murr joins us. Or should I call you Colonel Indiana Longnuts? Which one would you prefer?
To be perfectly honest, I prefer Colonel Indiana Longnuts. I mean, no one in their right mind is going to choose James Murray over Indiana Longnuts.
Well, in that case, welcome back home to Indiana here, Colonel.
Thank you. Yes, I've been working hard to become rank of Colonel, so I appreciate it.
What's the story behind the name of the tour?
So there was a punishment on the show 2 seasons ago where we made Q essentially be like an Uber Eats driver for the guys and I. And he had to drive around through New York City traffic delivering us food. He was driving in the car for 11 and a half hours.
I remember that.
And the entire car we'd retrofitted to have like Muppets inside.
Yes.
And they sang the same 30-second song over again and again and again.
Yes.
Which is, by the way, that is, by the way, a CIA torture device. It's like they play Barney for hours in a row until you tell them where the weapons of mass destruction are.
Murr, I got to tell you, I mean, that punishment was awful. Now I know exactly. I remember the episode you're talking about. But I think you have probably been on the brunt end of the worst punishments on that show during the many seasons. Would you agree with that assessment?
I'll tell you what, every end of me has been on the worst end. They have given me 4 prostate exams to date. They have put a catheter in my pee hole and then you have a line. Okay, like they're knocking off orifices left and right.
I love when you're talking about on-air prostate exams and you have to specify to date because there may be more.
I'm sure. I'm always expected to be asked to bend over at any moment.
Yeah, exactly. And those were real, right? I mean, there was no acting there. Those were real insertions in those prostate exams.
Of course, it's real. The worst part of that punishment, it was 2 weeks before I was getting married, and my wife has a degree in nursing, right? So they made my soon-to-be wife take the catheter out of me, which is not a position you want to be in.
Oh, man. But the worst one, I feel like for you, where I could see the actual look of sheer terror, was the skydiving one.
Oh, my God. I was thrown out of a plane against my will and from 14,000 feet. And I didn't go skydiving, my friends. I went cry diving.
I mean, you were the look of just sheer panic on your face and then screaming all the way down. There's no faking that at all.
What's not on TV is when they first told me how to go skydiving, I ran off set. I locked myself in the bathroom in the place for a half hour, crying hysterically. I wouldn't come out. And from the bathroom, I FaceTime my mother to say goodbye and I love her. And she rejected the call because she was shopping at Macy's.
Like, it feels like that behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. This could be like the next movie, right? You guys just doing a documentary of the behind-the-scenes stuff of what goes through your mind when you may or may not agree to eat dog feces for $290. Like, that's the kind of stuff that we need.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this doesn't seem like a doc. It seems more like a B horror movie to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
So when you guys bring this live show to Gainbridge Fieldhouse, again, July 28th, tickets on sale now. How do you do a live show? Because it seems like so much of what makes the show successful is being out on the street, and there's a lot of editing, and, it takes a long time to put a show together. How does the live show work?
I think the live show is even better than the TV show because obviously it's just us raw right there. We improvise a lot. We tell stories on stage from the TV show, from our lives. It's a lot of multimedia. We show a lot of video clips you can't see on TV that only the live audience gets to see. And we finally, on the live tour, tell the story of what happened at my wedding. I got married 2.5 years ago, and my wedding might be responsible for the band Smash Mouth breaking up 2.5 years ago. Do you remember when that happened?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Remember they fired the lead singer, the guy in Smash Mouth. They fired him. That was days after my wedding because I secretly booked them to close out my wedding as a surprise to my wife and my friends and family. And we tell the story on stage. It is outrageous. Now they have a great new lead singer. They're back on tour. They're awesome. That being said, my wedding might be responsible for one of the greatest rock bands of all time breaking.
I mean, that's worth the price of admission right there. Friday, July 28th, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Impractical Jokers, the Drive tour. Hey, Murr, one question, and Hammer, you kind of alluded to it earlier. How much work goes into making one episode of Impractical Jokers? Because they're only a half hour long on True TV, and I'm just wondering how long of a process that is.
We very little work at all. We're not very intelligent guys, so we just really have dialed it in from day one. And we put a lot of work into it. Our hearts are in it. They've been in it from day one, and I hope that comes through in the TV show, and it definitely will come across on stage.
Yeah, but is it like a week to film one episode? Or
Yep, it takes us 3 days to shoot an episode.
Wow.
So we work 24 hours a day. We pull 3 all-nighters in a row.
Oh, my God.
And I would imagine now, because you guys have kind of hit that level of stardom, it becomes harder. Like, you can't just walk into a laundromat and put women's underpants on your face like you used to because you guys are recognized.
You can't do that anymore, and I probably never should have done it in the first place. Can't do it, but what works in our favor, you see a guy on TV or a girl on TV, you're like, oh my God, those are TV stars or movie stars. They belong on TV. We don't look famous. I look like a pharmacist at Walgreens,
man. Well, when you put it that way, I guess.
Oh, man. But you must have an incredible team backing you guys up, too. I mean, like the ideas. How long have you guys been on? How many seasons so far?
We are ready for this. We have been filming Impractical Jokers for 13 years, and we're at 300 episodes and counting.
And you're constantly coming up with new ideas. Talk a little bit about the team of writers, and do they pitch you guys stuff? What's that process like in terms of coming up with ideas for punishments and things like that?
We hired a bunch of misfits and losers to basically work on the crew, and then we shoot them. No, we have some of our dearest friends have worked on the show for many, many years. Like people we've known from high school, that kind of, that know us as intimately well as we know each other, and that helps a lot. And then obviously the show is largely improvised, so you never know when a guy with a giant mustache is going to walk in and turn the whole thing upside down.
And you mentioned like high school friends and stuff right there. That's what I love about this show.
No.
It's like watching you with your buddies all just screwing with each other, but you guys just take it to that next level, and it's such an easy and fun watch. Like once you start watching it, you end up binging like 4 or 5 episodes in a row.
Yeah, we're like the best HGTV show you've ever seen, but a comedy and prank show version of it. It's I think that's the coolest thing about it. We never knew that it was going to be like family's background TV show. While they yell at each other or have dinner together.
It totally is.
And it is.
It totally is.
It's wild.
So the big show is coming Friday, July 28th, Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Tickets on sale now. Impractical Jokers, say it with me, Nige. Drive tour. Murr, Sal, and Q will be there. Murr, we always love having you on, man. Thanks so much for taking the time.
You got it, guys. I'll see you then, okay?
All right, talk to you later.
We've got Daisy, a.k.a. Amy Jo, one half of the Chicks on the Right, coming up next. Right now, let's take a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Where they touch down, 78 degrees with some clouds in downtown Indianapolis. Radar shows a bit of rain around Indy. Low temperatures tonight supposed to drop in the mid-60s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:31. The storms you dealt with Sunday produced 3 tornadoes. You may have already seen video footage from Johnson, Monroe, and Martin counties, but the National Weather Service has to be sure, says Greg Mello with the National Weather Service.
They'll go out and survey and officially confirm those tornadoes. Even though we have footage, we need to go out and survey them before we can really confirm them.
And they confirmed a tornado touchdown on each of those 3 counties this afternoon. If you're flying today, you might have to put up with some delays and cancellations at airports from severe storms like the ones that hit Indiana. According to FlightAware, over 1,400 flights within, into, or out of the U.S. have been canceled today, with over 4,800 flights delayed. It's all from those storms that went through the Midwest Sunday. National security officials are still assessing how the weekend uprising by mercenary group in Russia could impact the war in Ukraine. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
Reiterating a point made earlier by President Biden that the U.S. nor NATO played any role in a short-lived uprising by the Wagner Group. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says it's unclear what the events could mean for the Kremlin or Kyiv.
It's just too soon to know what impacts this is going to have on Ukraine and on Russia, quite frankly, throughout Europe.
Kirby says the U.S. focus remains on ensuring Ukraine has what it needs to defend its territory and succeed on the battlefield. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Republican presidential candidate Mike Pence says taking a position on a pardon for former President Trump is a presumption of guilt.
It's terribly premature, and it shows really a disrespect for our judicial system to talk about that now.
On Fox News Sunday, the former Indiana governor declined to say whether he would pardon Trump if convicted of the 37 federal charges he faces. The average price for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.45, says GasBuddy.com. That's about 8 cents below the national average. With traffic at 5:33, here's Matt Bear.
Yeah, Harrison, northeast side, inbound 69, stopped from 106th Street down to 82nd. Continuing on the BIMF, we have a crash right now, Bimford Boulevard, south of 71st. And then we have a crash, Fall Creek Parkway at Keystone Avenue. Crash north side, 91st to College Avenue. And another one at Newfields, that's 38th at MLK. Inbound 65 jams at MLK into Meridian Bend. Northbound lanes also slow from the north split up to 21st. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Plus manufacturer's rebates. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust B. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, a few isolated showers early on, low temperature of 63 degrees. Tomorrow, a gloomy day, mostly cloudy, high temperature of 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the drivehubler.com hotline.
She is one half of the Chicks on the Right, the lovely and talented Miss Daisy with us. Amy Joe, how are you, love?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Man, we're good, and we got a lot of ground to cover here, so let's get right to it. Do you expect anything at all to come from this whistleblower investigation into Hunter Biden, the Department of Justice, what they knew, what they didn't know, were they dragging their feet? We all see it. We all know it's probably true, but do you honestly expect anything to happen?
I just hope the whistleblowers are okay. I worry about them more than anything.
Sure,
because there's what we know of one of the guys, right? We know who he is. He's like the IRS Gary dude. He's Gary. I just call him Gary. And then
Gary.
there's the unnamed
It's my cat's
one.
name.
Yeah, that's the greatest name for a cat ever. But then there's the other unnamed. I just worry about them because I mean they could get Clinton, right? But the other, I don't know. When it comes to is anybody going to be held accountable? I don't know. Have we seen anybody held accountable ever on the left? Like
right.
In the past couple of years, I've seen no one held accountable, and I blame the people who represent us. You know, the people who are all the people on the right side of the aisle who are held accountable to their constituents. Are they holding people accountable? I don't know. I mean, these people need to buy some balls and hold some people accountable.
And elections have consequences, but the thing is, Democrats play to win. They're out for blood. Republicans, oh, well, maybe next time. We just got beat with mail-in votes. I'm sorry, they're still not doing enough to combat the ballot harvesting that's legal in some places. You've got to fight dirty. You've got to get in the trenches if you want to win this election, because if you don't, guess who's going to be picking the same ridiculous people that's going to head up the DOJ and the FBI and putting all these judges in at the federal level. You've got to win an election, but the Republicans, they play too soft.
Yeah, that's right. We're really polite. Like Kevin McCarthy, he said today that he's going to start the impeachment process of AG Merrick Garland.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do it by July 6th over all this whistleblower stuff. So, it's nice that he's doing that. I'm like, okay, well, yay, golf clap for you. But there again, I totally agree with you, Jason. It's like we're very soft on our side. I mean, if the tables were turned and all the stuff were happening to liberals, they would be losing their minds.
Right.
And I just, it's just with everything that's happening, they would be losing their minds. None of this stuff would be happening to them because they would be rallying. That's one thing that we talk about a lot on our show, about how Democrats are really extremely good at rallying around one another. And we're just not so good at that, and we have to get better at that, especially around election time, and making sure that a conservative gets into office and that conservatives are represented, and that we fight for this country because, man, we're losing it, you guys. Like, I look at just some of the stuff that's going on, the culture rot, everything else, and just the fact that there is a two-tier system of justice. We're watching it happen, and I think a lot of people feel helpless, but we're not helpless. This is still America, and we have to fight back.
It floors me when I see wishy-washy Republicans that are afraid to make tough decisions because the deck is already stacked against conservatives. Because not only are you fighting the Democrats, they've got the majority of the national media. They've got the schools doing all this bull crap to your kids. They've got Pride Month where they're grown-ass men showing their genitals to children. They've got all this kind of stuff. Why are you so afraid to counterpunch politically when it comes to this kind of stuff? It floors me.
And they're afraid to fight back culturally too, because I mean, like, so many of these people, especially when it comes to like transgenderism and the culture wars and things like that, they're so afraid of being silenced. They're afraid of people calling them certain names that they just say, well, I'm just not going to say anything. Well, and you not saying anything, you being a total wuss about it, they continue to win, and they'll just railroad all over you, and that's precisely what's happening.
And one more thing about being held accountable. I don't know if you saw the Durham testimony in front of the committee last week, but he was getting on both ends. I mean, look, Durham report was issued, and it confirmed what we already knew. The Steele dossier was fake. The Russian collusion narrative was fake. It was perpetuated. It was commissioned by Hillary in the DNC. The FBI director, James Comey, knew it was fake, brought it to them anyway, didn't tell his underlings that it was fake. And then the media, of course, pushed that narrative and tried to change the outcome of the 2016 election. And nobody, so I'm sitting there saying, like, Durham, you couldn't have subpoenaed Comey or McCabe or any of these guys that perpetuated this narrative that was completely false?
And then in the
Mueller
end,
report?
Precisely. But you know what's even more remarkable is how much the Democrats celebrate the lies. Like, they continue to pat people on the back for lying. I mean, it's like when they went through the whole censure process, and then they're like, no, this is fantastic. Like, you get a badge of honor for being a complete and utter skeevy liar. Like, that, if that doesn't show you who the Democrat Party is and what they're all about, like, they sit on a throne of lies like that.
Because nobody's going to hold them accountable, though, other than maybe Fox or maybe, Newsmax, which they don't have the audience of Fox. You think CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, any of these people are going to hold them accountable?
Right, and I guess that's why the people have to hold them accountable. It goes back to your point of, people need to get out there and go to the polls and vote and, be involved and and hopefully people get it. I mean, I would hope that people are smart enough. I would hope that conservatives, people on our side of the aisle, right-wingers understand what's happening, and they know that there is a two-tier system of justice and that we are being treated unfairly and that this is simply not American. This is not the America that I knew growing up. And that things have changed, and that this is just not okay, you guys. And so people have to vote by, but with their feet, with their minds. Like, they have to go to the polls and they have to make a difference, because the people who are representing us, they're not doing jack squat to help us. And so we got to get out there and we got to vote, and we have to make it overwhelming at election time.
Daisy from the Chicks on the Right here on the Hammer and Nigel show. I don't know about you guys, but I was glued to my TV all day Saturday with this Russian coup thing. The Wagner group, the Wagner mercenaries turned on their Russian counterparts and marched into Russia, took over a town of like 1 million people, and then started marching towards Moscow.
Cuckoo-ca-choo, baby. Let's go.
I couldn't.
I know. And what? And what do you make of it? Like, what do you think? Because, I mean, there's so many different theories on why this happened and what's going on. And what is your guys' take on it? I'm curious what you think.
I think the Wagner Group, again, hired mercenaries by Putin to fight along the Russian soldiers in the war, got sick and tired of
his crap.
Of Putin's crap and not giving them enough supplies, enough ammunition, blah, blah, blah.
Sick and tired of dying.
Seeing his soldiers die. But I thought it was funny, as you know, a country with the world's biggest nuclear stockpile could have been spiraling into a civil war. I went to Joe Biden's Twitter account, and right in the heat of all this, 5 straight posts on Roe v. Wade and abortion.
Of course, because that's what's important, right?
That's what we're concentrating on right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, it's very important, bodily autonomy, and it's very important for. And I'm surprised that they didn't have a bunch of stuff of pride, pride stuff on there, and rainbow stuff, and the LGBTQIA XYZ LMNOP community.
I keep on seeing.
I believe that goes on until Friday.
I keep on seeing this footage. Have you seen the footage of this pride parade? And there's a grown-ass man in tighty whities twerking in front of a bunch of kids.
Oh, my God, it's all over the place. Like big cities all over America this past weekend. It was just out of control.
Flashing themselves at kids, like showing the full Monty at kids.
And who are these parents that are bringing their kids to this parade? It works both ways, too,
A lot, Nigel. That's the thing I think that's the most astounding to me and most baffling is that, lots and lots of parents are bringing their kids to these freak shows, where got these twigs and berries flying all over the place in kids' faces. And I'm like, who are these parents? And it's not even they're saying the quiet part out loud. Like they're doing the whole "we're coming for your kids" things. They're changing that at some of these. There's video out there. I'm not making that up. We actually have video. It's on our website at chicksontheright.com. But they're saying we're coming for your children. So they're definitely saying the quiet part out loud now. And there was one I saw in New York City where there were a bunch of like naked women and I guess
like in the fountain.
Women. Right, and they're like boobs are flying all over the place, which you guys probably would have liked that. But
no, it's never the women you want, Daisy. Right. It's not like Kate Upton's in there slowly wringing out a towel above her head. It's like Joy Behar's in there squatting over a mirror.
Right, it's like the women with the wind socks like, running around. So yeah, it's really bad. Nice. I'm glad I gave you that visual. So, anyways, they're running around and with their boobs flying around, and then there's this one, I guess, chick who has a mask on. Like, I'm glad you're protected with your mask. Like, it's just the crazy visual of like the New York liberal weirdo that's like topless running around with her COVID mask on, and I'm like, if that's not like the perfect liberal vision, I don't know what is.
What are you working on with Chicks on the Right?
Oh my gosh. Like we're talking about all things, Hunter Biden, all things pride, just everything crazy you can think of. And then, of course, we also, at the end of every show, just so everybody knows, we always end with a little bit of, I always have my sack of whack, and then Moth always ends with her talks to make everybody happy. So there's usually like a screaming husky or like a weird raccoon in there. So awesome. People should tune in every morning. They should tune in. chicksontheright.com. You can find us there.
Daisy, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.
Let's drink some shine because it's been a crazy weekend, Nige, and I am ready for Moonshine Monday.
We had more?
Allison made a roadie recently.
Oh, that's right. She brought us back some moonshine.
She brought the shine. Moonshine Monday next.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food. Crazy. Enjoying exercising? Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Early bird special only $49.99. Thursday, July 20th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30, stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, July 22nd, Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hammer and Nigel here. I'm an American Standard air conditioning owner. Look, last thing I want to be worried about is my air conditioning in the summer. I don't have to worry about that with American Standard, right, Hammer?
Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling in Franklin, in Johnson, and the surrounding counties. Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling is your trusted American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. So if you're tired of hearing those ads where you get a free furnace with the purchase of this or that, and you know that it's bogus, call Marshall. You'll get an honest quote in Johnson and the surrounding counties, and make sure that AC unit's ready to go as the summer starts to heat up. Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling. They can also help you with your indoor air quality. Southsiders, Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling, 317-738-5940, or visit callthemarshallnow.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Don't give in to that constant joint pain. Take control. Take back your quality of life today with help from QC Kinetics. Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics is helping people every day here and across the country with their amazing non-surgical treatments that repair and restore damaged joint tissue, utilizing the latest advances in regenerative medicine, taking your own body's healing agents and concentrating them right in the area where you have the agonizing pain. This non-invasive approach helps you take back control of your body, relieving the pain in knees, hips, shoulders, or your back. No invasive surgery, no harmful drugs or steroids, and no downtime. Call now for your free consultation with QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics is in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel. So call 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel. QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN.
GeoFocus Academy is the premier online private school for Indiana students, helping students build a successful future regardless of race, income, or geographic boundaries. 96% of Indiana residents qualify to attend tuition-free using the Indiana Choice Scholarship. With certified teachers and hands-on learning from home, you can create a bright future for your child. Now enrolling grades K through 12 for the 2023-2024 school year. Learn more at k12.com/GFA. GeoFocus Academy, where education clicks.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Were you hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident? The insurance companies don't have the advantage of video proof that the Hammer may have. Call today or visit roadproof.wewin.com.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win tickets to see Winborn's Music of Pink Floyd, Friday, September 8th at TCU Amphitheater at White River State Park.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Yeah, Hammer, it's a crash. Fall Creek Parkway, Keystone Avenue. Bad place to have it. Traffic is getting through the intersection, but barely at times. Right now, inbound 69, stop and go. 106th Street down to 82nd. And then we have a crash. It's Benford south of 71st. That's inbound lanes. Northbound 465, stop and go on the northwest side. 86th Street up to 865. Downtown, inbound 65, stop and go traffic from MLK down to the north split, then to Michigan Street. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Plus manufacturer's rebates. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And it takes me back to a simpler place in time when we used to kick back and let the moon shine.
I see Jason Hammer sitting across from me with a with a mason jar full of clear liquid and a label that's handwritten.
Yes, sir.
It's Moonshine Mondays. Where did we get this moonshine? Oh, it's Allison, right?
Yeah, Allison hooked this one up here. So she took a little road trip, and she brought us back a little shine here. So what we've got is a little ball canning jar here with what I'm told is 100 proof. This is Jim Tom's signature moonshine from Sugarlands.
Jim Tom's.
But
this is written, again, on a handwritten... Did it come like this? Or... You know what I mean? Like
this is the way it was given to me from Allison.
There's like scribble. The handwriting's awful.
Do you want to talk about it? Or do you want to drink it? What are we doing?
I just don't know what I'm drinking. I want to make sure I'm not drinking straight ethanol.
You've done it before.
Well, I don't trust Allison. Sorry, Allison, but that's it.
I trust you, Allison.
Right,
cheers, everybody.
Ah!
Fire burning. Woo!
Whoa! That's the strongest one I've ever had.
Wow.
To date.
Wow.
Sugarland Shine.
I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs.
Oh, boy.
Good job, Allison.
I'm going to pour another here.
Good job, Allison. Boy, this last half hour of the show, buckle up, because I have no idea which direction we're going to go in now. But we got the top stories of the day coming up. Tornado damage. We got a crazy weekend in Broad Ripple.
Yep.
It's a Hammer and Nigel show. We're coming back.
You see them coming in your rearview mirror. Big trucks can cause